2, 1.
AM in the PM only on A2D Radio. Tom and Brad, these guys are fucking awesome.
What's up, family? Little AM and the PM coming to you like we do every Wednesday night. And every Wednesday night, we are live from our own quarantine Real Talk studios now. And I say every because it's been every Wednesday night we're brought to you by our doc. Make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Doing remote services now, so still working, still giving you what you need in terms of physical therapy. So that's Dr. Paul Vidal, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Nick Giuliano, Greg Mwakovic. What's up, boys? We got a ton to talk about, family tonight. We'll do a little fan choice, whatever you want to bring to the table at the end of the show. Eagles, we'll get in our little draft room, and we'll give you some of our big board players and guys to keep an eye on it in round ones and round two. And that's all leading up to our draft special. We'll do our A2D mock draft next Saturday. That's going to be a ton of fun at 8 p.m. So stay tuned for that one. We'll do our best sports venues we've been to and you guys have been to. And I got a good amount. I know Greg probably got a bunch. Joel said not too many, but that's fine. As a family tonight, we can hammer out a ton of great venues we've been to, and hopefully we can get back to here in the near future. Best all-time Philly sports tandems. That's the poll. That's the main topic at hand tonight. And our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK services.com. Find them on the web. 20% off. Tell them A2D sent you, and Michael Ambrose will give you 20% off. Gutter guards, gutter cleanings, anything outside your house, they'll take care of for you. My phone's going off here. Didn't even realize that. Look at that. First time here.
First timer.
A poll question. Ryan Howard and Chase Utley are the best Philly tandem of all time. And we're really saying all time, but honestly, tonight's poll question isn't really an all-timer. It's stuff you've seen, right? So, like, Bob Clark and the likes of the tandems that he played with, right? Obviously, they're the easy go-to answers. But, for a guy like me, and I know this panel, we didn't see them play, so I can't judge it. So what I like to do is like 90s and up, go 90s and up from it. We've all seen that. We can all relate to it. And that ties into the poll. Ryan Howard and Chase Utley are the best Philly tandem of all time. You can let us know Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's where we're live, fam. Jump in the conversation. Join us. Debate with us. Agree or disagree, boys. And if you want, you guys sort of know the weird direction I'm going here. So if you want me to go first and lead it off and let Total Mayhem kick in, then I can, or I can wait. So you tell me. If you want to go, go.
What should we do, Greg?
Just let the mayhem come.
All right, let's get it over with.
Go ahead.
All right. So initially, when the poll was started, I'm a big Ryan Howard guy, and I'm an Utley guy. So to me, because they brought my first world championship here, they were my best tandem together. Okay, and you can replace, and you can just add Rollins in there too. I mean, we all know all the parts of that 08 run, but I'm gonna go a little different because what's happened here throughout the last 2 years is you had to be one side or the other side when it came to two quarterbacks who played in this city. And for a diehard Eagles fan like myself, who never experienced the ring, always talked about going to Broad Street growing up, right? To my boys, I'll see you on Broad, see you on Broad. We never went to Broad. We begged to, we wanted to, and all the great players that came through that we grew up watching, and the Dawkins and all of them that came through this city. Never had a ring. Never said we were world champions. We're always the king of the meme joke, right? Well, guess what? Two guys together as a tandem won me a ring. won us a ring in this city. But what we've done is we divided it, right? We divided them. And we divided, well, if you're a Foles guy, you're not a Wentz guy. It's like the Griffey, Frank Thomas growing up. No, enough's enough, okay? Since 1990 and up, that's my best tandem. Because one guy was on his way to an MVP season and an MVP of the league. And that's my quarterback, by the way. That's my quarterback. So that's my guy, right? So this isn't easy for me either. But an injury, a little handoff, and the other guy went and finished the job. And then didn't just finish it, was Super Bowl MVP. So as a tandem in my lifetime, that's the whole goal of playing sports. That's what we wanted to do since we were little is, hey, win a world championship. Win a world championship. We got one with the Phillies, and then we finally got one with our Eagles. And I'm going to go, I disagree with Howard and Utley, even though I might agree. I'm going to go my quarterback and the other guy, Nick Foles. And I know it bothers you, Greg, but why do we have to hate one or the other? Why can't we love them both? Like, knock off the nonsense.
I did love them both. And then the Folesians came out and think he's the greatest thing ever, and he's not good.
Who's not? Nick? Okay, you're saying Nick's not good. Okay, I
Yes.
understand. I understand you're disliking Nick. I get that.
But I don't want to. I agree with you to a point where we shouldn't have to decide, but I can't.
Growing up, everybody told you don't put pussy on a pedestal, right? Everybody told you that sometime or another, right? Well, that's all people are putting that on a pedestal. He doesn't deserve to be on the pedestal, but people are putting him on there. And that's what ruined it. That's what ruined it for people like myself, too. I hated it. It made me rally around 11 even more because I felt like I had to defend my guy. But one guy was going to be MVP of the league. One guy was on a tear. So right there, that makes him part of a tandem if I can find another piece to link it to. Well, the other piece I can link it to was the other quarterback. So instead of dividing the two, let's bring it together. Kumbaya. Time to bring them together. One's never coming back here. So when we get upset with the Foles lovers of the world, let him love away because he's not coming back. We don't have to defend 11 anymore. 11's got to do that on his own now from here on out. Not us. So let's bring them together. Kumbaya time, break bread time. Let's go. Best tandem I've been a part of.
You're just doing this because you just want to bring it up for Easter, break bread, the communion. You just want to be all nice and gooey around Easter, don't you?
No, Ryan says the same thing we're saying. Yeah, I want to be gooey. I don't hate the people that love him. Exactly. But why shouldn't we all love him, though? Because we love Carson.
Be friends?
Let's love both of them. Best tandem we've been a part of. Because most guys aren't going to win MVP and the other guy wins Super Bowl MVP. That doesn't happen. That's what movies are made from. That's a movie waiting to happen.
That's a movie script. You're absolutely right.
That's it. So let's enjoy it. Best tandem. Greg?
I did enjoy it.
You say yours.
I'm going to go. I didn't realize we were going 90s and above. So I was going to go Dr. and Moses. Dr. and Moses were mine.
No, and that's a great one, obviously. Me and Jules talked about that one earlier.
Yeah, so that's mine. I'll come up with a 90s one since I got changed up last minute.
Changed up. I just thought it was common sense. It's stuff we've watched.
Well, when you say all time, you say all time.
Well, I thought like all time in terms of what we watched all time. I didn't mean like all time. Where you can go back. Just throw somebody with Wilt then. Just throw somebody with Wilt, and then we just wrap up the show.
Well, that's why everyone's different.
White guy with Wilt.
There's no right or wrong. Everyone's different.
Whoever the point white guy was who played with Wilt Chamberlain, we're just going to throw him with Wilt, and then we got the best tandem and call it a day. Come on.
Could have been.
Come on. All right, or you can go Bobby and Bernie. And then, it's a day. Call it a day.
Bobby and Barber.
Bobby and Barber. Come on. So Tristan Russo says best hand McNabb and T.O. would have been amazing. So tell me why, Greg, Doc, and Moses are your two.
Just because they were, they were the pinnacle of their each position at that time, right? You know what I mean? And obviously that team, was the last team to win for the Sixers, and Oh, Jake agrees. Nice. There's a shocker. So yeah, I mean they won. Doctor is amazing, and so is Moses. So when I first started watching basketball, it was at their tail end of their run. Because I was born in '81, so it was the tail end of their role there.
Yep.
Never seen him play.
I know Jake hasn't.
Really? I mean, I'm the same, pretty much the same age as you, and I don't remember watching them. I mean, I guess I was. My dad had them on. I mean, I'm sure I did. But to be able to actually remember their game outside of, rewatching old games is tough. You know what I mean? But it's a fair one. It's a great one. Thomas, O'Neal, Lindros, and LeClaire. Another great one.
Yeah.
But no, I mean they made basketball great in this city, Greg, and they were two great players. And the Moses deal sort of put that over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no really. We talked about this before. There's no right or wrong answer. I mean, you can make a case for dozens of them, but for mine, I'm going to step outside the box a little bit, and I'm going to make the connection between a player and a coach. And I'm not going McNabb and Andy because obviously that's a great choice. You can go NFC Championship games, division titles, all that. But I'm going to go with Brian Dawkins and Jimmy Johnson because those two, what they did for each other, pretty much was built the city of Philadelphia and how our defense played every Sunday. Those guys, with Jimmy Johnson, revolutionized that safety position with Dawkins. He took the free safety and the strong safety and combined them into one and moved them all around the field to guys where you see today, even today, we're talking 10 years later, 15 years later, guys like Malcolm Jenkins is playing all over the field. Cam Chancellor, Troy Polamalu, those guys that just made an impact all over the field. And going back to Dawkins' Hall of Fame speech, it said he wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Jimmy Johnson. I mean, those guys were made for each other. And I know they didn't win his title. They didn't win Super Bowls. Listen, I'm a young guy. I only saw 2 titles just like most of the people here listening. Okay? So titles do mean a lot to us, to this city. But as far as on a relationship level and an impact level, I think Jimmy Johnson and Brian Dawkins were one of the best tandems this city has ever seen.
Yep. And well, listen, when we talk about, Donovan and Andy's impact and that being a great choice and changing football here in Philadelphia and changing the culture, well, Jimmy and Dawkins had a big part of that too.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys on that defense, but specifically Brian Dawkins and specifically Jim Johnson. When you talk about schemes and when you talk about Jules, the ability, what really made things tough for people is you had this guy back there that, like you said, changed the safety position where a guy playing all over the place. Well, when you're game planning for that, that's tough now for offensive coordinators. So as you saw through the stretch of their dominance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw how game plan wise Jim Johnson controlled teams, even some of the best teams, and honestly knew how to put his players in great spots, and obviously made Dawkins and helped make Dawkins into the player he was, and that's why he talks about him so highly. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. So we got a lot of people chiming in, and Marquise has got go one. Wentz and Cox, Howard and Utley, 2 great ones. I was thinking
he's got another one, a couple down. That's hysterical.
Yeah, I'm getting there. My Cox combo would be Brandon Graham. I'd Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and say that's a great tandem here that we've had for a good amount of time here in Philadelphia. And then he goes on to say Jeff Garcia, Dante Stallworth. I meant Dante Stallworth.
He didn't hit you with a car, did he?
No, he was sipping though. Getting upset because the glasses were this big, even though it was all you can drink. Just refill another one. Tristan Russo, another one that's on my list. Not sure if it's on your guys' list. But Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor.
Absolutely.
Great name.
And to kind of piggyback off of that and go to the Jules teams. If you go Sheldon and Lido too,
yeah.
To team with Dawkins, that was a pretty formidable secondary back there.
Absolutely. And them two, and with great picks at Andy Reid too, because those two, sort of you segued from Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor to lead.
Absolutely.
Two great hits in that draft because both were drafted in the same draft.
Yep.
Which is even more amazing. And another guy drafted, I believe, in that same draft was Michael Lewis.
Yeah,
he was. I think he was. They went first round, second round. Lewis may have been third or fourth round.
I think they were all consecutive.
Yeah.
Look, they all three of them went in the same draft, and all big-time contributors to that success. Michael Lewis, I love Michael Lewis. Went to San Fran, sort of disappeared, never heard from him again. But when he was here, Michael Lewis would hit anything that moved. That's why I was a big Michael Lewis guy. Mike Caprera says, sorry, I didn't mean to click on my one. Definitely got to be Utley and Rollins to me. Great one. Like, I think you put Rollins with either one. You go Rollins, Howard. Yeah. You go Utley, Rollins. You can go Howard, Utley. I think any way you want to put them together is completely fair, honestly. Especially you all had a big part in that success.
Especially too, because Rollins was essentially the dad of that young group. Both Howard and Victorino both lived with Rollins their first couple of years up with the Phillies down in Swedesboro at Rollins' house. So he was like the big dad to the young kids.
People are stealing some other ones I have on my list. Thomas O'Neill, Dalton, and Dykstra.
Well,
another great one.
For my 90s one, I went back to I went Schilling Dalton.
Schilling Dalton, another great one. I was thinking Schilling Dalton. And then I said, let me. Nails was such a big part too.
Oh, I loved him. Yeah, I didn't
want to leave him out. Jake says, and we can do this one show. Worst tandems: DeMarco Murray and Sam Bradford. Great tandem.
Sean Bradley, and whoever else on the Sixers.
Yeah, whoever. Name any player. Utley and Howard was my tandem of my childhood. So many great memories from the time they were both on the team. Yeah, and I'm right with you. More not my childhood, more of my main sports era, I guess. In your 20s when you're really diving in, even more so. They were the guys, man, and they brought the first championship here. When you talk about them too. That's
absolutely.
Them will always be on my list. Always. And and listen, up until 6:15 tonight, 6:30, I agreed with the poll question. Ryan Howard and Chase Utley were the best Philly tandem. I agreed with it. I was in. And then I started thinking. And I said, you know what, though? They're great. But how many times do you see backups win a Super Bowl in that kind of situation? How many times do you see taking it from a guy who was on a tear? He had the league on notice. We talking about, you just go back to the game they lost in Seattle, though, when he's rolling out and makes that throw. Plays like that were going on all year. And it was Mahomes essentially before Mahomes, right? That's what it was. It was like, oh, my God, this guy does everything. Everything. We'll make you miss in the pocket. We'll make you miss outside the pocket. Can throw a ball 60, 70 yards in the air, right? Can make every throw in the football field. He had teams shook up. He truly did. And then to go down like that, and for us as a fan base, emotionally crushed, feeling like we had a Super Bowl stolen from us because we were on that kind of tear, right? Makes what happened even greater. When you talk about a guy that is a backup his whole life, essentially, just a guy, but just, guys rallied behind him too, and they did. And then to go on and not what he did in the playoffs, what he did in the Super Bowl. That's it. You're not just going against anybody, right? You're going against the greatest of all time in terms of a coach, right? And especially on the defensive side of damn football. And to go put on a show like you did, and then the greatest quarterback of all time, like we talked about earlier, that's a movie, right? The fact that producers in Hollywood probably already tried picking this script up from somebody. It's waiting to happen. So that's a great thing. For me, never having a Super Bowl, and I agree with Jules, it's not all about Super Bowls. And it truly isn't. And like I said, if we would have had one before, they wouldn't be my tandem. But being we've had none ever, that's my tandem because, like I said, for people chiming in now, don't hate them. Don't hate either one. Why? Without one, it never happens. And without the other, it never happens. So it's like, we're not in the position we were in.
Our hearts were ripped out because that year, my girlfriend had got me tickets to the Oakland Raiders game on Christmas night. And I'll tell you right now, I told her I didn't want to go anymore. I was so devastated. I didn't even want to go. I said, the season's over. We lost it. Just, I'll give you the money. I don't care. I'm not going. And then look who turned out wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, but that game wasn't anything to write home about. That was a bad. I hope you did. Did you go to the game?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was a horrendous game.
It was.
Yeah, and it felt like.
But that's how I felt. I felt like
Yep.
we got so close, and yet again, the football gods were not on our side.
Yeah, the Philly curse came back to get us.
I think that's how all of us felt. Like, here we go again. Here we go again. We're this close. We're this close, and it's gone. It's gone. And then even bigger, like, your star, you're coming up soon to be superstar. Your franchise goes down too. It's like a combo effect.
And MVP of the league.
Yeah. And Jules, I mean, we weren't doing shows together at the time, but I remember just talking about, like, we did one show, me, Greg, and Mike, and we were talking about, like, how curses like just end in weird ways. Like, we talk about the Red Sox, being down 3-0, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, and a stolen base, boom, changes the whole dynamic. So that's how their curse ends. So you look around and you realize, like, curses usually end when you least expect it. The Cubs, in their situation, I think they were down in that series too, right? At one point, they were down in their series, and they come back.
They were down 3-1.
3-1, and they come back and win it. So you can sort of smell it a little bit, right? And I remember that Wednesday, we were like, I could see it. Like, we were saying, if there's a guy we wanted to run the West Coast offense out of any backup in the league, we were saying that on this Wednesday. That Wednesday, it would be Nick Foles. If there's any backup in the league to run the West Coast, back in Philadelphia, it would be Nick, because he's been around it forever. He might as well be a coach in it, because he's been around the West Coast offense for so long. And that's what people forget too, is that Doug talks about, this is an offense that takes you 6 years to master. Well, Nick's been around this whole life, besides his Rams days. So when you combine them two, and the way it came about, I mean, that's what's so special about it. It makes it even more special, because you could sort of sniff, like, maybe this is how it ends. But even deep down, we were like, does it though? Does it? And then that's the way it goes, and that's what's amazing about him. Anthony A is going, all around. Yeah. I mean, they're two great names when you talk.
I mean,
about
you can just go Penny and Little Penny.
Well, you got a great one. Spidey says, I like that phrasing. Main sports era would be from 20 to 30. Old enough to go to games by yourself, have some beers, and enjoy the sport. So my era is 2006 to 2016. And I think that's like your main, when you're deep in. Not that we're not deep in now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're more deeper than we were when we were younger. Marquis says, best tandem should be Matty Ice and Julio. They would have beaten us if Matt Ryan didn't constantly force the ball to Julio on the goal line. Forever, thank you. Yeah, and I was at that game, and I was like, oh, this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
Yeah,
that's just more to how crazy that year went, right?
Yeah, and then you think back too. You had the YOLO ball at the end of the half that bounces off Keanu's ACL torn knee into Torrey Smith, and we get a field goal, which ultimately turns the game around, because now Atlanta has to get a touchdown instead of a field goal.
But if I'm Matty Ice, I'm forcing the ball to Julio all day.
Yeah,
I'll take 4 chances at the goal line with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you trade all the picks to go get him, right?
Right.
That all the way back in the day.
That's what we've been chasing for the last so many years.
Right? You change all them picks in Atlanta to go get Julio back in the day. They're throwing the ball in them spots. In them situations. Yeah. It's the exact reason.
You go Lou Brown and Jake Taylor.
Great one. Maybe the best of all time. Talk about just getting one ring. Andy Ritter, yes, but one ring does not make them a great tandem. I still think that if Wentz does not get hurt, then we still go. We had the town and the team. McNabb, Reed solidify things for the city. Listen, I completely agree with that. Donovan's my guy. Donovan's the best we did the other night. It was my best Eagle of all time. And the Birds of a Feather did that, last night. And I wanted to jump on with him and explain my love for Donovan and why he should be. But, this kind of tandem, and the reason I go this way, Andy, this kind of tandem's different. This ain't the usual tandem. Like, was anybody thinking that that's a tandem coming into the night?
No, honestly,
Quick
no.
on this show, were they thinking that's a tandem?
No.
No, you threw a left hook.
God, no.
Big time hook. Big time Tyson hook. We were talking boxing before we came on. That's old school Tyson hook. Anthony Davis' best tandem is Reggie White and Jerome. Would have been. Could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
Could have been.
Because, I mean, if Jerome doesn't pass away, you know, that's the best interior. That's the best two guys on the line you probably would ever have seen for a long time.
Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters.
Oh, there's another good
Wes
one.
Hopkins and Andre.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Oh, talk about smacking in your mouth.
Yeah.
Big time smack you. Big time smack you. I mean, you did not want to be a guy going across the middle with them guys back there. And
not even a little bit.
Back to the Wentz thing, Marquis says Wentz was on pace for 4K yards and 45 touchdowns.
Hello.
You know? So it wasn't just like this normal year from him either.
Yeah,
you know?
Sandy.
It wasn't like a normal year for him. Essentially,
no, he was legit MVP.
I mean, you're record breaking shit.
Still probably got enough votes to potentially win it anyway.
Yeah.
If there's anybody other than a GOAT, he probably wins it.
No, you're right. You're right. And then exactly, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Why this is the best tandem? That's the whole point. Because the other guy went on to beat the GOAT. You know, one guy was putting a stamp on himself and letting the league know, hey, I'm going to be here for a while, right? Expect this year in, year out, and it's crushed by an injury, and then the other guy takes the baton and just goes on with it. You know, that's a different tandem. For a 1-year tandem, name a better one for the people out there. Name a better one. I don't honestly. It was a last second switch by me. But we never had a Super Bowl here. So, Andy, yes, it does. In this city, it does. It does. It's different. It's different. When you talk about greatness in a city, it's different than greatness all time, right? And greatness outside the city, right? When you talk about in our bubble, because our bubble can't be defined and judged by the outside. It's got to be defined by our bubble. Our bubble of championships is in our lifetime of watching. So it's got to be. Greatness is defined in this city by rings. It has to be. It has to be. Doesn't mean Doc and all them guys aren't great because they're all on the list. You know what I mean? And the only reason I put McNabb as my greatest Eagle of all time is because of the, you know, what he did was just something different and how he changed how bad we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you tandem them up, this tandem, I don't know if we'll ever see like that kind of thing happen ever again. Especially even on the outside, you know, on the national sports stage. That just doesn't happen. So it's, you know, that's why it's just different and so different why them two deserve that. They deserve that credit together for once. Because they always get the one or the other. One guy will get credit, but then the other side's like, no. Yeah, no. This has been Facebook the last 2. Nah. And everybody's got to jab back. Well, how about, hey, we're good. And that's how I look at it. Ryan says Wentz and Foles ended up being the best 1-2 punch in the city's history. You know, and if you start talking 1-2 punch, you know, you start talking that great tandem. Boys, give me some other good ones you got off the top of your head.
Top of my head, we can go. Not a lot of people said this, but we can go Jason Peters and Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Bookend tackles.
Bookend tackles, arguably the best left tackle, best right tackle on the Super Bowl team.
While you're there, you could go Runyon and Thomas.
You can go Runyon and Thomas. These on my list too.
Tons of, you know, puppy list. You want to go puppy list? Ben and Joe.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. Tom said Hamels and Ruiz. I'll go Holiday and Ruiz. I know Hamels has the ring, and we talk about the rings are special to us because they're so scarce. But if you look at what Holiday and Ruiz did together for he was here 4 years, but really only 3 full seasons because the last year he was hurt. So in the 3 full seasons, he had a perfect game and a postseason no in the first season together. Over 50 combined, over 50 wins in 3 years. I mean, the fact that Holiday pretty much was his favorite player to ever play with and have as his catcher.
Yeah.
That says a lot for a guy that was so underrated in this city. Speaking of Chooch.
No, absolutely.
When you said first was, to get a no-hitter that soon together is really
that's soon. I mean,
that's incredible.
The perfect game was in what? It was in May.
It was in May. It was Memorial Day weekend.
The guy's been here for a minute.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day weekend because I was down in Ocean City, Maryland with a softball tournament.
Yeah. And listen, that when we were talking before the show, like if we do, maybe next week's most underrated Philly guys that played here, Carlos Ruiz is on that list and high up there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go back and you think of 08 and you think about the times, we remember Chooch, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But he's not like one of the first three guys named. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when you're talking about handling a staff and you're talking about what that takes, and then to have the bat he had from the catcher position was so important too. And a ton of big hits as well. And there's a lot of underrated guys here. Victorinos in the world. There's tons of them. But that's
for one season, you can even go Lidge and Ruiz. It was lights out.
Together.
Literally.
Lights out.
Good night.
You could, if you kind of go with, Jules' initial thought, right? You can go Jim Thome and Charlie Manuel, right? Kind of like the mentality of what they both brought to this city, right? Thome had some big numbers here, but the signing of Thome, the bringing in of Charlie Manuel, kind of flipped that mentality from a Phillies standpoint and a Phillies fan standpoint of, hey, we're going to be here, we're going to spend money. And Thome didn't end up winning anything with us, but he helped set that foundation of what was to come and ultimately let Howard take his spot.
Yeah, Greg, well said, because I was even, on my list, I had to get Jimmy on my list because he's well-deserving to be on my list. It was Jimmy and Charlie.
Yeah. Because
of their relationship, right? I mean, I think that meant a lot to this city and changed a lot in this city too, because to go on and win and the bravado Jimmy had and the ability for Charlie to let him have that bravado, right? I think was so important to this baseball team and that 08 championship and that run.
Yeah.
And Jimmy didn't just talk, he backed it up. And for Charlie not to almost gave him free reign. But
was able to pull him in when he needed to.
Yep. Go do what you got to do. Go be who you are. We talk about it with Joel all year, right? Like from the Sixers brass, right?
Yeah.
Stop controlling this guy on Twitter, dude, and what he says, right? Let guys be who the hell they are. They ain't hurt nobody. Let a guy talk. When he was talking, it's when he played his best basketball. I want the guy yapping that. Okay? You going to stop Mike from gambling? Our Super Bowl's coming up Sunday. Our Super Bowl, the 10-part series on Michael Jordan starts Sunday or however long it is. That's a Super Bowl coming up. But you let guys be who they are. You can't change guys.
Yeah, you got to let JoJo live rent-free.
Yeah, exactly. If he's hurting people or saying out like stuff that's like, yo, slow down, then sure. But I want a guy getting a little handsy on the court too with Towns. I want guys hating each other.
It's all the game within the game.
Shit, we're all gonna go be best friends on the basketball court. You might as well not even come back then, NBA. You might as well just stay away.
That's what it's turned into.
Nah, I think a lot of guys still fight. There's guys out there. There's still some dogs in this.
That's why Russell Westbrook is the top of the list. I mean, he's a stone-cold killer.
Hates everybody. Everybody. He steps on the court, he hates everybody. You could have been the best man at his wedding. He steps on the court, hates you. And that's how you should be.
Absolutely.
48 minutes, I despise you. Love you. You're my guy, but I want to beat you even more because you're my guy. That's how I always looked at it. You go play backyard ball with your boys. You want to take somebody's head off almost.
Mm-hmm.
You love the guy, but you're trying to win. And that's just backyard shit. When we play football at 37 years old on Thanksgiving Day, it ain't rainbows and blowjobs.
You want to make it rain on everybody.
Yeah, trying to win a game. You start doing the Vince Vaughn like I was all state. I'll put whatever you wanted, whatever I wanted. Oh,
hot rod.
Let's go stand
Jaws and Carmichael. Bill Middlebrook says it's a great one.
Great one, absolutely. It was before that's that Doc era, right? You know what I mean? That was like just as we were all kind of like starting to get into sports because that's just that era. but they're great when you go back and look at it. They're all-time greats.
Absolutely. And well-deserved to be on the list. Just the back end of my list because of the not watching them. Not watching, but not remembering enough. You know what I mean? That's the big thing. It's like I want to be able to, with my eyes, tell you what I thought was special in a tandem. You know, you want to go Jimmy and Utley because they played up the middle. That's a great way, too, if you want to look at that. You know, when I went Dalton and Dykstra, it's because they were up the middle, and we know how much success in all sports is up the middle, right?
So what about Stocker and Morandini?
Oh, I mean, that's a good one in 93. Imagine if they got over the hump, they probably would be on the list. Things could be different for Mitch, too.
But to kind of piggyback off of Parker's up here, Iverson and the team, why don't you just go Iverson in the city of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
You know what I mean? Because just say that. Because we were all, or you just say Sixers fans, because we were all on Iverson's side.
Yeah.
On everything. And I saw earlier Larry Brown and Allen Iverson. That was a great tandem too. Larry Brown and Allen Iverson. I saw that one earlier.
Yeah, that's on my list as well. That was one of my top ones was AI and Larry Brown.
Yeah,
with a tandem because there's nobody you can put with them. You put Matumbo.
Yeah, George Lynch.
It probably would have been Theo Ratliff if they didn't deal him because Theo played better with Allen anyway.
Yeah,
they were on a tear before they dealt Theo Ratliff that year. I mean, they
slamming Sammy Dallenbart.
I mean, you had a bunch of names that could have went with them if things would have worked out. Like maybe Stackhouse and Iverson could have been a great one together, right?
Yeah.
Talk about Stackhouse and AI.
Oh, Marquise dropped a nice bomb.
Mike Murphy's got a great one.
Oh.
Iverson and Pat Croce.
Oh.
That's even special. I like that one.
That is a good one.
That's a great one.
What, AJ Feely, Kevin Curtis?
Yeah, then Tristan hits another one. Yeah, but that's a great one.
Oh, AJ Feely and James Thrash, yeah.
And James Thrash.
Iverson in practice is great.
No, the Croce, though.
Stackhouse, and that could have been a great one.
The Croce one from Murph, though, is a great one because just like the Larry Brown comparison, there's always certain people that you could surrounded and that could have held Iverson accountable for things, and it was those two, and that's it. Because he then walked all over everybody else.
Not a person that could have said another thing to that guy. This is the way he was back then.
Yeah.
In terms of I'm going to do it my way. You know, what we talk about, let guys be who they were and who they are. Right, Jules? Greg, we were just saying that about Joel Embiid. Let him be who he is.
Yep.
Well, the Sixers let Iverson be who he was.
And they did. And that's why they got to where they did.
And he changed the NBA himself.
Listen, to me, you can make he's the greatest Philly athlete of all time. Yeah. Because when we talk about the bubble I was preaching earlier, he breaks the bubble. He smokes the bubble. And not only the bubble in the United States.
Literally, too.
Yeah, he smokes that bubble. He smokes that bubble globally, too. I mean, roll job global, too. Because you're talking about a guy who had guys overseas wearing cornrows, right? I mean, think about that. Think about the global impact, right? Everybody's shorts got baggy real quick when Iverson started playing ball. Because we all related to the 6'0" guy going amongst the trees all the time. We're in the city of Philadelphia, especially, we're related to the toughness.
And walking off the court like he went 12 rounds, right? Like left everything out there.
Give me 48 minutes, bro. Like 46 minutes a night, 45 minutes a night. Leaving it all out there.
Pound for pound, he was the best.
And the thing that sold us as a fan base is the fact he played banged up all the time, and we knew it. And knew it. And that to us was the toughness that was like, that's just our guy.
A guy in the finals of going against Shaq, getting to the cup, getting banged around. I mean, you don't see that.
Dude, if he played in today's NBA, he could play 25 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's touching him. Even back when he played in the 2000 era, he was getting mugged.
But look at it this way, too. Like, you look at a guy like Allen Iverson, and then you compare him to a guy like Vince Carter, just body size, right? Mm-hmm. And then the style of play. The fact that Vince Carter, who's of same similar era as Iverson, was still able to play 22 years, especially in today's NBA. Now, he's not a star anymore, and he is a shell of himself, but the fact that he was still a relevant player on the team in today's NBA just goes to show you how much different a guy who's 6'6", 6'7", versus a guy who's 6'0", and what that extra body and weight does for a guy's career.
Yeah, and then knowing, like, I didn't lift weights.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, you're just the average Joe, but you ball. You know what I mean? And you got great athletic, great God-given ability, the flat out ball. So if you're just joining us, our poll, Ryan Howard and Chase Utley are the best Philly tandem of all time, and it's pretty much what we've seen, obviously. So we like to say 90s and up when we do these types of things. And I know for me specifically, I went outside the box big time, and trying to make the case for Wentz and Foles. Greg, Jules, let the people know and the fam know your choices again, and then we'll continue to run off some more names.
I went outside the box a little bit too, and I went with Brian Dawkins and Jimmy Johnson, kind of paving the way for that player-coach tandem.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I initially went Doc and Moses, but then I switched it around and went Schilling Dalton for that 93 team. And you're right. We mentioned it earlier. You can kind of throw any two guys in there for the 93 team. Mitch Dalton, Lenny Dalton, Lenny Kruk. There were so many options from that night. I just went Schilling Dalton.
Yeah, and then we were jumping and sort of, making the case for, if you wanted to go, we were sort of winning like every team too, if you think about it too. We sort of circled and got every team in, and then, we made the case for, obviously the best Sixer of all time, and who you sort of team him up with, because he never really had anybody, right? And,
yeah.
You get the Murph saying Iverson and Pat Croce, a great one. Obviously, Iverson and Larry Brown always linked together. So that was a great one. And then Iverson in the city. And when we talk about Iverson in the city, hey, that's just amazing. Amazing, because you don't look at it like that. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. It's by the way, Murph, thanks for the good, nice words, pal. Appreciate you checking in.
Yeah, Murph out in Illinois right now too, right?
What's that?
Murph was, I think, out in Illinois somewhere because he works out there during the summertime. And
okay.
Out there now everything's shut down. I'm sure he's in a standstill out there too.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. No, there's another one, Gritty and the Fanatic.
Great tandem.
Ooh.
People always try to pull them away from each other, like Foles and
bring them together.
The best comparison I heard was Gritty is the Fanatic's Delco cousin. Like when I heard that comparison or like that description of Gritty, I'm like, we're good. I get it. It makes complete sense.
Harry Cowles and Chase Utley. Well, right, I'll surpass you on that one and hit you with, this goes back a little bit for you, but Richie and Harry.
Yep.
Yeah, Richie Ashburn and Harry are the legends of the booth. I know Chrome said zoom off and
Mix. That was a great one too. Yeah.
Phenomenal combo. And then that's what Murph just said. Harry and Richie Ashburn, I'm sure has been mentioned. No, not until right then on. Right then on. When Ryan mentioned Harry and Chase, it just made me think of Harry and Richie. Because you forget about Richie for a second.
Yeah.
How great Harry was, but then if you remember them at all in the booth together growing up, woo!
Yeah.
Richie was smart.
You see, there's so many. There's so many different ways that you can go. It's not just players with players. We're talking about fucking broadcasters now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if you want to go current though, there's no better for at least the Phillies. There's no better tandem than LA and Fransky.
Right now,
Larry Anderson is the greatest thing ever.
Love him.
It's a shame he only does 10 games a year anymore, and we don't have baseball. Yeah,
and we don't have baseball.
Eileen mentioned it earlier. I love Pete Rose, by the way. I'm a big Pete Rose guy.
I love Pete Rose, the hit king.
Yep.
Ryan says Shady and Deshaun. That's a good one. That was on my list.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
Poe, I'm digging Poe's.
Pose was great. Where did Pose go again?
Poe.
Steak
and cheese whiz.
Absolutely. So how about this one? Doug Peterson and Frank Reich.
People want to give Frank some credit, huh?
Well, deserves it. You know, we talk about tandems, guys who sort of did it together.
Because
No, you're right.
Doug was getting bashed a little bit, saying, he had to stop the scene since Frank Reich left.
Oh yeah, he got bashed a lot, I defend. And that's the same type of Foles and Wentz thing we've dealt with. You know, we dealt the same thing with Frank Reich and Doug Peterson. You know, where the Doug people like myself are on defense mode all the time and having to go out and defend, and it gets tiresome. But it doesn't mean, Frank doesn't deserve a shit ton of credit for what he was a part of here too. And the tandem for two offensive guys to be able to deal with what we talked about earlier in the show and my best tandem and Wentz and Foles, right? To be able to deal with what happened that year and to be able to adjust, right? And make a game plan suited for the other guy now on the fly, on the damn fly. Hard to do. And them two guys did it together. That's why they deserve a ton of credit. So that's why Frank Reich and Doug Peterson were on my list. See if I got anybody didn't say yet. I mean, I said Ben and Joe already. Amos and Chooch were like my sleeper.
How about Wentz and the receiver we draft this year?
Yes. Great one. Wentz and Jerry Jeudy. All in for Jerry. What else I have? I said Ben and Joe, Deshaun and McCoy. Nails and Dutch, Jerome and Reggie, Troy and Bobby. So mine was Dawkins and Trotter.
Okay.
Where you went Dawkins and Jimmy, I went because I was like, I was going to go Dawkins and Lito, and I was like, I don't know. I'd rather put Lito with Sheldon and let them be that tandem. You know what I mean? Then go the other way around because they were drafted together and all that.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, who else was like, because if I'm thinking up the middle, you win too. I'm like, man, well, Trotter deserves a lot of credit here too. That's why I went Trotter and Dawkins. And
it's not even like you can pair Trotter up with another linebacker. You like two guys in the middle. He was the only one.
There was one guy. It was Carlos. What was it? Carlos Emmons.
Carlos. Yeah. We had Takeo Spikes too.
Like these guys were like minute guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody here for a while. Internal Lion says Tua to the Chargers. Very well could be. We'll be doing our ATD mock draft live, giving picks on the fly. We're all going to have a division, and we're all going to take a division and do those picks. And we're going to do a live draft. So come join us the next Saturday night, and we'll see if Tua goes to the Lions or not. Nick saying, Greg, you want to say his last name? I always mess it up.
Wow.
Yeah, hit you.
Strychars?
No, Nick, if you got it right. Lindros and LeClaire, Legion of Doom. Years do it for me. What was it? 96 Lindros, League MVP, Basketball City for me, and I can't pair anyone with Iverson. Yeah, and Iverson, we said, Nick, was like you pair him with Larry. Mike Murr said you pair him with Pat Croce, which was a great one. Somebody else said you pair him with the fans. Was that you, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the fans, the city.
That was a phenomenal one.
That's an amazing one. That nobody would have brought up. That and Croce are like the winners in the clubhouse, besides Wentz and Foles. But no, I mean, listen, Michael Paris had a great. You feel like you stop watching hockey after Scott Stevens took Lindros' head off 5 freaking times. But Lindros and LeClaire absolutely are the best Flyers tandem of my generation, of mine. Nobody better.
Because they did it and they were so dominant for their period of time that they were doing it for, right? And yeah.
50 goals a year.
Yep.
50.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And don't think that didn't have a lot to do with playing with Big E.
Next to the freight train.
Yeah. So how about everybody do this right after the show? Don't do it now. Speaking of full, Super Bowl 52 just started at 9 p.m. on NFL Network, Philly special. So what I want the family to do is mute that. Okay, you give that a little mute, and you leave us on. All right, and you'll rewatch it. But while you're rewatching it, remember my quarterback was on pace to win league MVP. But if you want the best tandem in Philly sports, in our generation of watching, it's Wentz and Foles. Greg, I was expecting more of a debate from you, and I really didn't get it. And I was really expecting the family to really attack me, and I didn't get it.
Opinion. I can't. I mean, you'll yell at somebody for their opinion being wrong, but I'm not going to berate somebody for their opinion being wrong.
Hold on. We've done this show specifically for now, going on 50 minutes. I've yelled about everything we've talked about.
That's what I'm saying. You yell about everything
at a high level. Yes, when people get like confused about me. I know Bill.
That's what I'm saying.
Bill always says you just out yell people. No, when I talk sports, I get a little handsy and I get excited, and the passion comes out.
No, it's the Italian too. Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot of Italian. And my mom's not even Italian. She's just a pro talker. You know what I mean? Pro talker, Chris Arnold. Andy Riddick, could you imagine if we had Lindros and LeClaire in their prime with the rest of the Flyers line this year? Oh, my God. I'm going to go 82-0. 82-0 with that one. No, you didn't really – you gave me a little argument. You said the rings aren't everything. But then I just shut that down because in this city, when you only have two as a fan watching, they sure as hell mean a lot. They are everything. And when you only have one for baseball and one for football, and we're rabid dogs here for football, that means everything. I told Jules before the show, if we had two, then it changes. If this was the Eagles' second one, it's not Foles and Wentz.
Yes, I got it right.
What'd you do?
The Nick's last name.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even see him chime in. What, he inbox?
He just did.
So he came right in at the end. That's like.
And there's another one. Incavilia and Kruk.
Love it.
Love it.
Let me one up that.
The Inky Dinky don't.
Mel, let me one up that one. Let's go Inky and West Chamberlain.
Ooh, or Jim Eisenreich.
You want to talk about some guys who look good in uniform? West Chamberlain and Pete Incavilia.
West Chamberlain was the first guy I remember, like, cocking the hat a little sideways, like with a little bit of swag. I'm like, okay, Wes.
A little chain, right? Was it the gold chain going? Yeah. And it was juice and was Juice City too. Like you're talking about him and Inky look so good in unis. Like guys that you should be hitting 45 a year. Right? So good.
They filled out a baseball uniform the way you wanted back in the 93 era, right? Back in the early 90s era, they fit it to a T.
Freaking middle linebackers playing right and left field.
Ricky Jordan was there with them. Ricky Jordan stunk even worse than they did.
Ricky Jordan, great backup. You want to talk about great backup? Ricky Jordan, great backup. Phenomenal backup. Well, Crucker had too many the night before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a getaway day.
It's funny,
great backup.
One of the guys I remember the most growing up, because my parents used to take us down to Baltimore all the time, was Big Ben McDonald, the pitcher from the Orioles. He was just a huge, like 6'6" guy, looked good, but just stunk when it really came down to it. You're just like, dude, how can you look the part so well and then just stink?
Well, that's Mayberry.
Yeah.
For the Phillies.
Yeah.
John Mayberry Jr., just look great in a uni. Like, oh, man, this guy should be able to swing.
Same thing like when you go Aaron Altair, guy that, Tom, we see it all the time with AAU. You call them like the airport players. Guys that look good walking through an airport with the bag, and you're like, oh, we got to play that team. And then you get out the game and throw.
Got all the good stuff on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the new gear. And you're like, oh, shit, we got to deal with this? We deal with this all day on a Saturday? Remember, said, geez, John Mayberry. I mean, look great in uni, though, We should do our all uni teams.
Yeah.
Who look best in unis? I mean, you could have a field day on the football field of guys who look great in uniform. Chrome's got to go one here. You want to go college game, Delonte and Jameer Nelson. Absolutely.
There's a good one.
There was another one earlier. It was Archie Diacono and DiVincenzo.
Great
one early in the chat.
Great one. Am I getting an echo on your end? It's Greg again, probably creating an echo on mine.
You're hardlined in. You're Uncle Hardline.
I know.
I'm hardlining in too.
Cousin Hard over here. Prosper Pine. Kruk looked the best.
He had some great flow.
Everybody looked better.
It's some great lettuce chilling out the back of his hat.
But that was great. I mean, your whole left field, your combo out there was Juice City and look delicious. I met Wes and Inky because I was at that spring training that you're going into 93.
Right.
Tying into some of the venues and stuff we've been to. We're going to talk about, the best sports venues we've been to over the years, fam. So stay with us. And we got our Eagles draft room coming up, or a little big board. We're going to give you in some positions in need on who we think can be around. And it's all going to just segue into our big-time A2D mock draft coming up here next Saturday night. Anthony Adis talking about basketball. Colangelo might be the Bulls GM. I heard that.
Yes, please.
Wow. I mean, the NBA just begging to get that family a job. It's just amazing.
Well, yeah, they still run it. Hudson Wright did look like a wet noodle, and right, you're right, Murph.
Oh, yeah, it did.
The stuttering noodle.
Nick says, I'd also get down on J-Roll and Chase. Their defense was poetry in motion. Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah.
Right up the middle there where it's so important. Bill says you can use Foles in that argument. I mean, after all, they have a statue of the guy. So you put him with Ertz with that touchdown and fourth down completion, or Foles and Doug. I don't know where he's going with that.
I think he's agreeing with you.
Yeah. But I don't know the end of it. The end of it confused me. That's all. Just explain where you're going.
I think he was just saying you could also, because of the turnaround from the end of the regular season to the playoffs, you team Doug and Foles together. That's what it seems like.
No, just said so you put him with Ertz. That's why I didn't get the Ertz part. Crum says maybe a stretch, but Carly Lloyd and Julie Ertz.
I'd stretch it.
Jeez. Going there. Local stretch. Stretching Cavilla. I mean, that's a great one, though, Crum. If you think about it, that's outside the box. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Mine is Wentz and Foles. It was too easy to be like, yeah, how did I? Which, I love. You know what I mean? I love them, too. And, I think me and Jules talked about it. We wanted to be different with it. We didn't want to give you just generic, like, here you go. Here they are. You guys already knew this. No, let's give you something different. Let's be outside the box. It might be names you thought of. Or for me, you probably didn't think of. Unless you're a guy who really sits down on Nick. You know what I mean? When, Nick's always Santa and you're always on the lap. If you're one of them guys, that you're always on Nick's lap, then maybe you have thought of him. But if you're not, and you're like me, you're more on Carson's lap, then, you never thought of it. That's why, to me, I mean, we never won a Super Bowl in this city. And they're winning it in that way. And we always divide these two. Let's bring them together and give them a little trophy tonight as the best tandem. And Greg has nothing. He can't debate it. He wants to. He wants to think how he can. But
I just don't care enough about Nick Foles to even fight you on your opinion. It's your opinion.
You don't like that Eagles team. You don't like that Eagles team.
I just don't like Nick Foles.
No. I feel like that you don't like that Eagles team that year. That somewhere deep down you don't like it.
Why
and
would I not like it?
The fan base did it to you, I think. Is the fan base, or is it because your hate for Doug so much you didn't want to see him win? Which way was it? Because you talk about not having emotion and like they won, and I know you're better than that. And then you talk.
I did have emotion. It just didn't hit me right at the end.
Okay, fair.
Because I just didn't believe it. It was one of those things I just couldn't believe. I said this a million times. The emotions hit me later in the night, the next day. It would hit me from time to time because I just couldn't believe it that we actually won. And again, you look back at it, and you tell me Tom Brady punted once, and we beat him. You know what I mean? That's pretty unbelievable. To your point, you're like, it's a movie script, right? You're telling me Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady? No one who would believe that. Hollywood wouldn't even believe it.
That's why Hollywood's going to get the script. That's why they're the best tandem. Because we keep saying the one guy was on such just changing the quarterback position again. We talk about guys that come in leagues and just change it, right? Where they're not just, it was either one or the other, right? You're either a great pocket guy, right? Or you're a guy who can extend plays, but maybe accuracy issues, right? But you got great feet, right, Jules? It's always been one or the other with guys, where you're okay at passing, but you're not great. I thought McNabb changed that, but he always got hit.
You got a big arm, but your accuracy sucks.
Yeah, your 15-yarders, your 10-yard slants are atrocious, but you can throw the 50-yard bomb, And to me, Wentz was sort of changing that again. Where I'm where you're thinking man, this guy does everything.
Yeah.
Does everything. Probably running a 4.5 at the time, right? 4.6 maybe.
Right.
He's fast enough.
Yeah, very deceptive.
Strong, powerful, and then can make every throw. And we were watching that come and the progression of it. You remember day one under the offense, he was killing stuff at the line, right? And
Kill,
we were
kill.
all like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How about that throw in Seattle running towards the sideline? Remember that?
Yeah.
Maybe one of the best.
And he threw it 50 yards down the field to Aguilar.
And then
He actually caught it.
He actually caught it.
And
I
what
mean, how many quarterbacks make that throw?
exactly. None of them. No, not like that. Not like
Maybe
that.
just the other guy on the other side of the football field.
Yeah, Russell.
You know what I mean? He might be the only other guy
Not the
that
only one.
probably could do that.
Mahomes probably makes that throw because he's got pedigree arm.
Yeah.
You know, daddy baseball arm. You know, one of them. When we're going to talk about Antoine Winfield later on in the show, Junior. You know, pedigree talk. But you know, so you talk about that and him changing the position a little bit again for a guy who can make every throw. And you talk about great throws. It's continued into this year. You know, where now he's like fully healthy from the injury and carried a team and made one of the best dart throws that I've seen maybe a quarterback make. I can't tell you how long on the Miles Sanders TD in Washington. You know, flat out dart on the roll, on the move. And so we're seeing it again. So, like, I'm projecting his career too, right? Like when you said, Jules, when you said like Wentz and whoever our wide receiver is this year, right, which is a great one. Yeah. You're projecting it. And I'm projecting Carson to continue. So, Bill, I don't know. What did I say wrong, Bill? I mean, what did I say wrong? About Todd's been in quarantine too long. You can't say Foles without mentioning Wentz no matter what. We get it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're the best. Are you okay? I'm saying they're the best tandem. I'm combining them. What the F is wrong with you tonight now? Oh, my God. You've been in quarantine too long. You can't even understand. I'm combining them. My God. You think you gave a little credit and you end up getting attacked. What's he switching a team meager? What's he saying? Mike Parker or Mike Madonna and the other guy for the Stars. I forget.
Spud, you talk about Basil McRae. Are you going Mighty Ducks reference there, Spidey? Or are you going Mike McDonald with like Brett Hall?
Might be where he's going.
Like Bill's all upset. It's not worth your breath, Greg. Foles and Wentz.
Well, no, if you want to go with that team, I thought you would go Doug Carson, Ertz. You know what I mean? Like that's where I thought you were going. If you want to go with that team, you know, hey, it's outside the box. It works.
And guess what? You know, that would have been the easy one. If I went Wentz and Doug, I would have got heat for saying Wentz, right? From the Folesian Society. So the fact that I team them up, somehow I still get heat. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's what's wrong with us. You all been in quarantine too long. You're going to give that answer heat. So, Bill's looking for a damn agenda here with me putting Foles and Wentz together. You know, like you can't say Foles' name without mentioning Wentz. No, I'm changing the game here. I'm combining the two. And saying
until Wentz wins one on his own, you're not going to be able to say Wentz's name without Foles.
No. Basil McRae. All right, so let's get to some of the best sports venues we've been to. And Greg,
by the way, Murph, I do love the DeJuan Wagner one. He was one of the best. He was one of the best high schoolers I've ever seen live. It's funny talking about DeJuan. Me and a couple buddies in high school were supposed to go to that Pennsauken Tech game where he dropped a hundo. Not because we thought he was going to drop a hundo, but we knew Pennsauken Tech sucked at the moment, and there was an opportunity to see a big game out of DeJuan, and we just never went. But yeah, I love the DeJuan Wagner reference. His son's a pretty good ball player in the area now too.
Yeah, pretty good.
Shocker, right?
You said one of the best. I mean, who's better than him that you saw live?
No, I mean he is the best.
He is.
Yeah. No, he is the best.
Top two, and he's not two. So
you're right. Yeah. So top sporting venues. I've been to a lot. I mean, just off of prestige, the old Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park are top up there, right? I've seen one of my favorite ballparks for baseball is Pirate Stadium.
Yeah, I've heard of
the PNC Park. I was there, I think, the year it opened, and just it was just the ambiance. I hate Pittsburgh. You know, Pittsburgh can fall into the Susquehanna River and float away for all I care, right? But But what they did around there, and walking across the Roberto Clemente Bridge to get to the stadium, for at least where we parked or where we stayed, was such a cool atmosphere. Walking up to the stadium, it was really cool. Beaver Stadium at Penn State's an unbelievable stadium to be at. I've been to a couple big games up there to where I actually felt the stadium rocking. That's how crazy it was. I was one time they were playing Notre Dame, and I got Jimmy Clausen to turn around the sideline and look me dead in the eyes. I was heckling him so much. It was kind of like I was just like looked around at people near me, and I was just like, ah! Those are a couple that come to mind off the top.
Murph says I was just out at Lambeau this past year for a Birds game, and it was special.
Wow,
it's really like nowhere I've been, and Murph, that's a bucket list place, right? To go to when you talk about Lambeau. That's one of the Wrigley's, the Fenways, the old Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium feel. Stuff that's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the newer parks. If I'll circle the block, and say baseball that I've been to is Petco Park in San Diego. I just thought it was phenomenally done. Little things about it that I really enjoyed, and I guess just being in San Diego helped that.
Yeah, right.
Helps on this list. Like the only stadium in the summertime that I'm probably not too hot at because the weather's always perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I've been to, but it's tough because Brave Stadium in Atlanta would top all the baseball stadiums around if it wasn't for the humidity. If they domed it and did it right, but they can't. But because of the way it's set up, but like, that's the only issue with it. Or it'd probably be number one out of the baseball stadiums. Jules, what do you got? It's one of the better places you've been.
I haven't been to too many. If you're talking like most prestigious, the old Yankee Stadium, I was there the last year it closed down, or last year it was around. But also I seen Chrome put up at the Barclays Center, and I was at the Barclays Center a couple years ago, but not for any basketballs or a boxing match. And we all know you guys are breaking up. I can't hear you.
Which match?
Oh, Porter Garcia.
Okay.
So I mean, we all know that the Garden is like the mecca of boxing, the history.
Yeah.
But the Barclays actually is a very good arena too for boxing, and it's kind of like the new wave of this generation.
Yeah, I completely. You're absolutely right. I completely forgot about MSG. We used to go up there to watch the Big East tournament. My dad and I, and my brother. We would take the train up there to watch the Big East and just sit there and watch basketball. Same thing with the Palestra. The Palestra to me is maybe one of my top 5, arena stadiums of all time, just because it's just that, like, you walk in and you can feel the history of that arena. And I haven't been back since they redid it, but I used to go watch the 8-10 tournament there. I go watch Big 5 back in the day when growing up. I mean, that's top notch right there.
Yeah, it's funny because real quick, Spidey says I hear Tom just uncomfortable to watch a game in that summer heat in Georgia, and that was the thing. But stadium wise, I mean, well done. Another one, Spidey said, and I agree with him. The vet. Like, going to the games at the vet, you almost felt the toughness, right?
Yeah.
Like you walked into a game at the vet and you felt tougher. So I mean, that always had something to it in terms of NFL stadiums I've been to. Just that feel. Definitely different than any new one I've been to.
It sucks. I'm pretty bummed out because when I was doing a lot of traveling out in LA, it was the Dodgers were never in town, so I couldn't go to Dodger Stadium when I was there. And then the one free weekend I had to work was the Rams-Falcons playoff game at the Coliseum, and I decided to get food poisoning and spent the entire free weekend in my hotel room. So I was like, what the hell? I had 2 chances to go see some 2, prestigious stadiums, and I got boned out of it.
Trying to think of
Beaver Stadium's great, Anthony.
Yeah.
it's it's very strange that there's still a stadium that has the troughs for a urinal, but hey.
Then read off some more ones. Kerm said Barclays, PNC. Safeco is awesome too.
I've been to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It was just nothing overly great. Obviously, Camden Yards is there. Love Camden Yards.
Yeah.
Camden Yards is an all-time classic one.
Yep. New Nationals Park is I really like
nice.
it.
Yep. Really nice.
And it's super easy to get to from this area. Like, you don't have to drive all the way into DC. It's super easy.
Yeah, it's not a bad travel one.
No.
Not at all. Really easy travel one. And a nice one. Same thing with Pittsburgh. You talk about, not a far travel one per se. You don't have to get on a plane.
Right.
Another one. I'm trying to think what other one. I can see that Kansas City just being what it is.
Yep.
Not a lot of history with it. There is, but isn't. Like Kansas City.
Yeah, I've been to a game at the University of Wyoming. That was nothing. I've been on a tour at Coors Field, so I can't say I've been to a game there.
Still a venue you've seen though.
Yeah, I got a ball from the locker room. There's a ball sitting on one of the stools. I'm like, bloop, thank you.
I went to the LA Coliseum, felt the history there, but realistically, it was just a shithole.
Yeah, troughs there too. Absolutely. All those old stadiums had troughs.
Yeah, and that's what makes it, to bring some of the history in.
Yep.
I haven't been to Fenway, and I haven't been to either Wrigley or Dodger Stadium. So, they're like bucket list ones that, you want to do.
Yeah. I haven't been to Wrigley yet either.
Andy says touring Fenway when I was a kid was an experience, and I also love Minute Maid. Yeah, I'm sure Minute Maid looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Minute Maid looks good. John Coyle, I forgot the name of it, but the new Edmonton Oilers arena is special. Amazing atmosphere. I can see that up in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Big time hockey up in Canada. Absolutely could feel that environment walking into it because hockey live's phenomenal. And a lot of arenas are similar. You know what I mean? Anthony A says Pirate Stadium is blah, and the same with Citibank. I heard bad things about Citibank. I'll tell you where else is a bad one. New Yankee Stadium's horrendous. Horrendous. You couldn't pay me to go to a game there ever again. And I posted a picture of me there way back in the day. Back little primer days. And horrendous stadium. Maybe the worst I've ever been to.
It's funny. My buddy and I were doing it. We went to Fenway, and on the way home from Fenway, we stopped at Old Shea. And, I mean, you would talk about a shithole. It's already a Sunday afternoon game. It's late in the season. We thought when we bought tickets for the Mets Braves in September, we were actually going to get maybe a good game. We sat down. We looked at each other. We lasted 3 innings before we were like, let's get out of here. we left after 3 innings, and we drove home. It was insane.
That's great. That's sort of how it was when I went to SunTrust.
Yeah.
I think I might have lasted 2.
A cool little arena. I watched a couple games up in Boston at like the Boston College indoor arena for hockey, and even over at BU at Boston University. You would talk about like John explained said about the Edmonton hockey live, but talk about college hockey in those two in that city. I mean those two arenas were just jumping for a college game.
For you, in terms of venues and arenas, you've been to a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Even a cool one is the new Philly spring training home.
Yeah.
Cool place, cool atmosphere. You want to talk about this great atmosphere locally? Locally, I mean, because it's connected to Philly, but that's a great one. Great one. Even the old one was a fun time. That's one of the better experiences is being down at spring training and that venue and that atmosphere. Just because like baseball's back, and for a lot of us, it's getting out of the cold weather.
Yep.
Getting down there. I was supposed to be down there.
I saw one of the last games there.
What, the old one?
No, this year.
Oh, yeah. I think you meant old Jack Russ.
But the old Jack, yeah.
The old Jack Russell complex down there. That's where I meant Ricky Williams. because he was drafted by the Phillies.
Right.
So one of my mom's friends was some part of player development or personnel or scouting of some sort. And we're walking out, and she's like, "Oh, that's Ricky Williams. That's the Phillies drafted him." And I'm like, "That's a guy I was just watching at Texas run people over."
Yeah.
Oh my God. I shake his hand. Like, what's up, Ricky? Little did I know, Heisman. And I remember watching him all that next year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I met this guy. He's a problem. He's an issue. Going to Superdome was something else too. Granted, it wasn't for football, but that place is massive. Yeah, that place is massive.
Yeah, those domes are just incredible.
What do you think if I would go to LA? Let's do it, brother. I'm in. You don't gotta
Book-
to get back out that way.
Book the tickets now. They're cheap as shit.
True. I'll drive it. I'll pick you up on the way.
That's the opposite, absolutely the opposite direction.
We'll figure it out. Spice this up. I'm going to spring training. Need to. That's a must. That's always a must one.
Yeah. There's a couple good ones down there. Old the Champion Stadium at Disney, you know what I mean? At Walt Disney World, where the Braves used to play. It's kind of, we won a softball World Series there, so that holds a little bit more of a personal touch to us. But Lakeland, Jack Murphy Stadium, the one with the Tigers. I forget what they called, Joker Merchant in Lakeland for the Tigers is a really nice stadium.
Jim is in Lakeland.
Yeah,
that's the only problem with it.
I know, you're right.
Zach was on with us last Wednesday. He
was
he'll tell you.
I know. He told me all about it when I didn't call him.
Well, what's funny is Pittsburgh Stadium in Bradenton, Florida, with Bradenton's semi shithole, but it isn't. I mean, anything on a beach really is a shithole. I mean, just not as nice as Sarasota, I guess. But supposedly that park's phenomenal too. They did a great job with their spring training home too, from what I heard. The same with the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies did a great job. Citizens Bank Park, to me, is a phenomenal venue and a great place. It's right under here on the screen. You're looking at it. Can't leave that one out.
Yeah,
the Phillies did a good job with their spring training home as well.
I wonder what the other fans would say about Citizens Bank Park and how they feel about it.
I've heard a lot of fans that really like it.
Yeah.
And when I've done a couple of different spring training ones, and obviously I'm wearing my Phillies gear, and we're usually at Phillies games. So obviously spring training, you get more people apt to talk and converse and stuff, and it's always on somebody's list that you're talking to. So they always ask, "Hey, where's a good spot to sit? For the game. Where's a good spot to go get cheesesteaks?" Obviously, it comes up. So there's a lot that CBP is on a lot of people's go-to list because of the atmosphere and what it really is. It's a really good stadium.
Anthony A's Coca-Cola Park in Allentown was nice.
Yeah.
Do you mean Turner Field or do you mean the new one, Anthony? Old Turner?
I wasn't at Old Turner.
I mean, I drove by it, but I was never there. Spuddy said he's got a great one in Charlotte where the Charlotte Knights play, White Sox affiliate.
Okay.
Gorgeous. That'll be a fun little trip. Spuddy only like 8 hours away.
Yeah, nice 45-minute flight.
A quick 8-hour road trip with the boys. A good time.
45-minute flight, and you're there.
A while ago. So much history for college basketball there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, Frank.
You go to a game there, you experience some things. You know
what I mean? There's Ghost in there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
My bad. I was going Skittles. I mean, nobody wanted to talk, so I had to jump back in. See if nobody wanted to read comments. You guys left me hanging.
I can't pull them up.
Oh, you can't? You can't see
No,
them?
we can't.
You can't see all of them on the side, though?
No, I can see them. I just can't pull them up.
No. I just meant read them. Wake up, Craig. Gavin Keller. Citizens Bank and PNC are my two favorites.
They're good ones.
Definitely. And we were overlooking Citizens Bank, weren't we? I mean, for a second. We had it in our backyard. But I think a lot of people would say that. A lot of people would give that one a name. And everybody stay with us because we're going to do our Eagles stuff here in a couple minutes. So we're all our Eagles faithful listening. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. All right. See, we're going to tell you who really to pick. Buddy, CBP, my son's initials. He was born I guess on opening day. Oh man, I miss opening day.
Seems so long ago.
Yeah, the good old days. The good old days. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go a little draft room, and we're going to go over to some of the top prospects out there. Sorry, read it. Let me read two more. Biggest dump I ever went to. Chrome says the old Izod Center. Thank God they bulldozed that shithole. John Cole didn't get a chance to watch a game there, but walking through Friday Night Lights, Texas High School Stadium was pretty cool. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of good high school stadiums down there, but that's awesome, John.
Speaking of that, I mean, I've been through a bunch of big time high schools in Georgia, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
that seat 10,000.
Yeah. Am I on a college campus or is this? Where am I?
Come on, man.
That was like in Minnesota where I had friends go to high school, Shattuck St. Mary's, like hockey in there. Like that's just, it's very similar to like where they filmed D3, in that high school, but that like everyone's literally on top of you. And then the prestige of playing Minnesota high school hockey, it was just like, oh my God, where am I at?
Yeah, it's Alaska.
Oh, there's a great one.
Yeah, I feel like you're playing there. And Crum says Coors Field's amazing. I know you were talking about, touring it, Greg.
Yeah.
But
I was like 10, 11.
So what we're going to do, a little Eagles talk, a little draft room here. I'm going to pull this up for you.
First Union Center, Coors State Center. I love it, Spidey. Go back.
What did he say? Sorry, I missed him.
No, he just said Wells Fargo used to be the First Union Center, used to be the Coors State Center.
Yeah. And a great one to watch them.
I remember the FU Center.
You know what?
The old Spectrum, though. I mean, the old Spectrum.
No, Spectrum was great.
Oh, I love the Spectrum.
Spectrum was great. If you want to go back in time, yeah, Spectrum was a great one. So, boys, here's a little lesson the family out there, right? Of the, probably the top wide receivers, not probably the top wide receivers in this draft. However you want to list them out, it's fine. So we're going to go through a few of them. And, I look at number 4 here in T. Higgins, and I don't think he's 4th, but that's fine. But so these are, you go off the top 10. And the question to you is, if we stay put at 21, what's the furthest you go down on this list, essentially, before you say, I just got to wait to the second round? Make sense? So, like, what's your limit? Do you go as far as say, hey, I'll go as far as Jefferson at 21, and if not, I'm out, and I wait to the second round? Or are you type first? Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, does this list not have KJ Hamler in the top 13?
No, because I think they consider him a slot, maybe.
They have a slot.
I think this is the wide receiver slot. And they
got there he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I was about to call shenanigans on this list.
Yeah, so they more look at these are your best slot guys, essentially. These guys convert to being better slots than outside guys.
I got you.
Here's your slots. So you can count them two in, first round.
Wherever you want, right? Yeah.
So
you go back to the other list, though. I mean, it was pretty good. I just noticed because I think Rieger's on that other list.
Well, when we went and looked at right here the 2019 rankings, right? When we went and looked at the 2019 rankings, me and Joe were like, dude, where's Metcalf? And then we knew somebody else was missing too. And we're like, we got guys missing. And it's because I was in the slot area and not the outside guys. But here are your outside guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are your guys that are projected to play on outside. So to me, when this is already projecting Hamler and Rieger to be slot guys, well, I'm not drafting a slot guy in the first round.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say if them guys translate to slot guys, I'm not in on them in the first round. Then I can only be in on number 1 outside guys in the first round.
That can also play in the slot. You move them around, but you need a dog on the outside.
Absolutely. Keith Daly, yes, we did mention Bobby, Bill Barber, Reggie Lease. Absolutely. And Anthony says that's because Hamler had a QB, can get him the ball. He would have been higher. It's not that. It was just because they had him as a slot guy. That's all. That's the only reason. So where's the furthest you go down on the outside guys in the first round?
Jeff Lomar. Sorry, guys. I got to get to Ann Arbor. I've been to the big house, but never inside it. That's a great one I got to get to.
That's a great college atmosphere. And you know what? Do it like this. Name me of the guys you would take at 21, and as far as you would go. You know what I mean? So you don't have to say, like, I'll go 1 through 6 on this list. Just tell me the guys that obviously you would take at 21.
Well, assuming
they're all there. They're all there. Name everyone.
So we got Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, and Jefferson. That's it. So Jules, you would go 4 guys at 21. If one of them 4 aren't there, you're gonna go somewhere else and save to the second round, right? Oh yeah, I want to go defense.
Gotcha. I love it. Greg. And
I'm kind of right there. I agree with you, Tom. I don't think Higgins is above Jefferson.
No.
So a Higgins, Chenault, Mims. You could throw for me. I'll throw Hamler and Rieger in there. For those guys, I'm trading back, right? But if I'm sticking at 21, I'm going Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, Jefferson.
Yep, and I'm right there. I mean, I'm Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, Jefferson, and you may be able to sell me on Denzel Mills there. Maybe. But it's a tough sell. You know what I mean? It's a really tough sell for me.
And to be honest with you, it probably wouldn't even be a sell if Chenault was healthy, right? You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't have to have that worry that you're drafting a guy at 21 that's not coming in ready to play.
Yeah, and Chenault from Colorado. Yeah, absolutely. Mills to me, like, is just the projected body-wise too. You know, big, strong, 6'3", 207. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same thing with Higgins, big, strong. I'm just not a Higgins guy. You know what I mean? From what I've watched on the field, but I wouldn't be like, I would be mad at Higgins at 21 to me. But you know what I'm saying? But Mills, I mean, Mims to me has jumped boards big time here recently. So, but you would have to sell me on that one, guys. So, like, to me, I'm right with you guys. So, like, I know the Fix was talking about it early on. I mean, to me, I don't have to take one. So really, the only guy I expect to possibly be there at 21 is Jefferson. I can't expect Ruggs, Judy, or Lamb to drop to 21. I can't. No. Do I think 7 receivers go in the first round like Bill does? No, I don't. Do I think 5 go? More, yes, I think 5 go, maybe 6 in the first round. I think that tops it out because there's so much other talent on the board. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I mean, the only guy you could potentially think outside of those top 3, you're right. Lamb's not slipping too far, if at all. Judy's not slipping too far, if at all. The only guy that would is Ruggs, and it kind of ties into Tom, like, to your reasoning of taking Judy over Ruggs, right? Just because the body of work, just pure production, not a pure just athlete, right? Where Ruggs is just that guy that now jumping up board. So he's that guy, you're right, that potentially could drop a little bit. But, Higgins and Jefferson are going to be there at 21, and I don't like Higgins a lot at 21. If you're going to give me Higgins, get me to 26, 27, 28, and I'm good with Higgins.
I'd probably be more comfortable with Higgins back later on in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Because funny, Jules, Greg, if you were talking 2 months ago, Higgins was on a lot of high up here. Higgins was above Ruggs.
He was a heavy mock guy for the Eagles early on.
And then for a lot of first round teams. I mean, their teams were high on him. I mean, he disappeared a little bit because of some of the other guys jumping, and that worries me about some of the other guys. Because why weren't you this high 2 months ago? You know what I mean? Like the Mims of the world. Not saying he can't play, but why weren't you this high 2 months? This high after the year. You know what I mean? So why was Higgins so much higher? So to me, there's something about Higgins that still sells me, but I just don't think I could take him at 21. You know what I mean?
And also towards the end of their season, I mean, there's a stretch of games where Lawrence, their QB, wasn't really playing great. So when you saw Higgins with their with a quarterback that wasn't as good as he should have been, but then you look at a guy like Judy without Tua, their second string quarterback, is still putting up numbers against top-notch defenses. I mean,
you wonder.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It makes you wonder. Like John said, you got to take Chenault in the second if you happen to go secondary in the first, say. And we're going to talk about secondary, and we're going to talk about some linebackers and some edge guys possibly at 21 too, and maybe
Yes, John, I would.
the chagrin of many people, or maybe even offensive line. Maybe even guard. You might even be talking guard at 21. But yeah, I don't know. Because I think other guys that are year one healthy guys are on the board. I can't do it again.
Well, I think Chenault will be ready, but with everything being testing and everything being done virtually, that like the docs can't see him. So like now you're on Chenault, you're taking a true risk. But I don't think to Anthony's point, he says he's going to the Packers. Yeah, I don't think Chenault gets past the Packers and the Saints in the late first round. I think those teams are primed to take a guy like Chenault because of the injury, and they don't necessarily need him, quote unquote, right away. Even though I think he would be available.
Yeah, no, you're right. They don't need him right away.
Mm-hmm. And Tom, we talked about this over the weekend. We don't want any projects at receiver. We want guys that we know is going to catch the football. Like so, when you look at a guy like Justin Jefferson, 111 catches this year. I mean, the guy had 4 touchdowns. What was it in the first half of the playoff game?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And listen, you look at production, man.
That's it. I can't go through it again with the project of dropping balls. We need sure hands.
I mean, 111 catches means you don't drop balls.
That's what it says to me.
Simple, and listen, real clear. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, right? Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because this guy I'm all in on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fully 110% trade up, give you what you want.
Best route runner in the draft.
In on, right? This guy, not as much in on. I know guys love him. I'm just not as much. All right? This guy, listen, when you play in that conference, it scares me a little bit because nobody presses nobody at the line of scrimmage.
No.
Nobody. So that scares me a little bit. At least when you talk about Higgins, right? Played against some big competition.
And you like his size too, 6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
That translates to an outside guy, but then you fall on this guy, right? And to me, a lot of people were high on him, and I've had my thoughts about him at different times. But to me, you can make a case that this guy right here is better than this guy and better than this guy.
Whoa.
You could. Production-wise.
I don't know.
You could. Did he have 111 damn catches, Greg? Did he have 18 touchdowns?
No, he did. He did.
I mean, and it all depends on how.
CD Lamb had 111 catches?
No, I'm saying Jefferson did. I'm saying you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong there. You're absolutely right there. Correct.
Listen, this is where I would mess you up on. If this guy was doing that at Oklahoma, then you're like, okay, he's doing it at Oklahoma. You expect it, right? You expect it. If you're that good, you're gonna have a ton of catches. Nobody's gonna cover you. Blah blah blah. This guy's doing it against the best, man. This guy's doing
Oklahoma was a top 5 team all year too. You know what I mean? So they got everyone's best shot.
CD Lamb 62 catches last season.
Right, and a wide open.
But he had Jalen Hurts throwing the football, and he was still doing things. You know what I mean? Like,
but and when he had Kyler Murray, he had 65 catches, and then
Jalen Hurts was getting Jerry Jeudy to football.
So Tua took his job.
No, but I mean, I hear you, but I mean, to me, that's not a fair, thing to say just because Jalen Hurts is on the football. It's a wide open conference, it's slinging the ball around. Nobody covers nobody. We know this already. Nobody plays defense over there. Nobody's covering anybody. I know they're a top 5 school. I get all that, but this wide receivers from there scare me a little bit too. At times, that's the only thing I'm saying. If I'm just comparing the two, I'm not I'm not saying talent-wise CD doesn't translate better. I get that, but I just think Jefferson's got knocked for something at the combine, and something at the combine's getting.
He ran a 4.4.
I don't think he's got knocked for anything. I just think that's where I think he's the 4th best wide receiver in the draft.
And I mean, it all depends on how you label Ruggs. I mean, he's just that one-trick pony guy. Just runs vertical routes.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's what it comes down to. I don't think he is, but you're right. You can make that argument that that's all he is.
Good, explosive playmaker. Ball in his hands, open field. Boom.
Because a lot of the guys that ran, the fastest 40s at the combine, receiver-wise, they didn't really turn out too well in the NFL.
Yeah, it's just not the end-all, be-all, the jump guys. It's like strictly production. Jefferson and Ruggs aren't even close. I mean, two guys on the same team, Judy and Ruggs aren't even close. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at production, that's production.
Was it say 5'11", $188? You bang around with the big boys a little bit. You might be a little fragile.
Yeah, and you can make the same case for Judy, I guess. Not huge, but
6'1".
It is what it is. Guys run great 40s. They jump boards. I'm not saying he's not a playmaker. I'm not saying he's not explosive. Just not a guy I'm trading up for. If he fell in my lap, that's a different story. But that's our little list of wideouts and how far we would go in terms of drafting guys in the first round. And we all went like 4 deep. You know what I mean? 4 deep at 21. So that just tells you a lot you need to know there. Where you don't reach at 21. You know what I mean?
But outside, Jules, you mentioned it, and I think you guys, as you said, talked about on Saturday. If you go that top 6, take Chenault in there, throw Higgins, and you can even make a case for Mims outside. But I won't make the case for Mims, right? But that top 6, outside of Chenault for the injury, outside of that, none of those are projects, though, right? The only issue with Chenault is the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, those top 6 are legit. Come in day one, be on the field.
And what was the exact injury for him?
I think it's a leg, like ACL, something like that. I'll look it up right now, just because I want to remind myself as well.
Okay, so let's play another little fun game here. Linebacker-wise, another position in need. How far down this list do you go? Or, again, do the same thing. Give me the list of guys you would go at 21 and the rest you wait on.
Those top 2 right there.
That's it, right? That's all
it
for you?
Yeah.
Queen, Mary.
Queen and Mary.
First round?
First round, yes.
Yep, that's it.
Completely agree. I'm right with this board here. One guy I like a lot more than this board is Patrick Queen's running mate down at LSU. Jacob Phillips, I'm a big fan of. Huge fan. Honestly, I rate him higher than these guys. I'm not going to rate him higher than Malik Harrison because I like Malik a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's that 4th linebacker. So that's the only thing I have wrong here is I have more Jacob Phillips around that 68 range. I think he gets knocked for playing with a guy like Patrick Queen a little bit because of Patrick's talent. But I'm right with you in terms of the first round, Jules. Queen, Mary, as far as I go. Harrison's a reach there. Too early. That's drafted for need and not talent.
Greg, on Saturday, we were trying to give comparisons to guys in the league for Patrick Queen. If one comes to mind, who would you give a comparison to for Queen?
A guy like C.J. Mosley comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Just a guy kind of does everything on the field.
Yeah.
Every down.
Yeah. I said Deion Jones from Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah.
I see a lot of similarities in there.
That's a great one too, Jules. Both you guys, freaking spot on ones. I went like Devin Bush.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, just because like year one impact more. I think he comes in year one and can really change a defense.
And the guys that have blazing speed can get from sideline to sideline, chase people down, make tackles, and aren't a liability in coverage.
Now, how much do you like? Here, I'm going to go to the outside. I'm going to go back to the outside guys in a minute. All right, fam. So bear with me. I was shifting to the outside, to the edge guys. How much more do you like Queen than Mary?
Not a whole lot for me. Like, to me, it's kind of a flip a coin who's available. Although I do think, like, if you give me Queen at 21 versus Murray at 21, I'd be more concerned at Murray just because I'm sure there's probably somebody on another position that's better. You know what I mean? If say Queen's gone and Murray's best, then there's somebody else there that fell, whether it's a DN, D tackle, right? Something like that. I'll take Quinn at 21, Murray at 25 area.
Mm-hmm.
Murray at 25.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no problem Murray at 21. There's a lot of things I like about him.
I mean, I love Murray. So
obviously size, speed, and I almost like the fact that he's 6'2".
Yeah,
like the fact that he's
physical.
Like, sees things better over a line of scrimmage. I feel like that could help him a little bit. And being 241, I mean, you're walking in NFL ready.
Yeah.
Size-wise, NFL ready. Now, Queen, same thing. I mean, 230, you're not talking about much of a difference. Queen a little bit more stockier in terms of that size. But both guys, sideline to sideline cats, chase you down. I mean, I would have no issue with either one at 21 if my receiver isn't there. And I think most of us probably agree with that. Ricky Colon chiming in late. What's up, Ricky, my brother? He said, what's up, boys? I agree with the poll, but McNabb and Westbrook are a close second for me.
Okay.
Nice. I'm glad you agree with it too, Ricky, because, when I officially thought of the poll, it was something I agreed with. And then what happened is I switched up and went Carson and Foles just to switch stuff up. Andy Ritter.
Go ahead.
Generic question. Which position is more critical when we're talking linebackers, or is there no difference? You mean linebackers and receivers? Which position is more critical? For us right now, both.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I know you want me to answer and give you one. Say all things that are and all guys are on the board, then it's receiver. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a need if you're asking that question.
Chenault's injury is a core muscle injury with inflammation of the pubic bone. Pubic bone. He was only expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
I'm out. Yeah. Heard the pubic bone? I'm out. Softness written all over that one. Pubic bone. I don't even know what that is. So I'm talking freaking pubic bones. I'm out. Out on the pube gate.
Before the injury, he was the number 4 ranked wide receiver on a lot of people's rankings early on. Like pre-combine, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. Definitely a guy who can play.
Yep.
Now, I can't take him at 21 with the concerns.
No, and that's exactly, yeah.
Now, I want to play this same game here. Okay? Same game at 21. Furthest you go down this list. Now, these are the edge guys. All right? And go ahead and look there.
All right, well, we know we're not getting the number 1 guy.
Let's see, though. Where's AJ Spence? Is there another?
That's what I'm looking at right now, Greg.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, I was just.
Give me a sec.
Is he listed as
I love those guys.
He's not an outside backer, is he? Edge. You go to edge?
I think so. He was at edge at Iowa.
Sorry, outside backer.
Guys like. Let's see. Is he on here? No.
Where the fuck is he?
There's your outside linebackers right there.
Yeah.
It just says edge. Got edge. What name were you looking for again? My bad, Greg.
AJ is Spence. He should be right there in that,
well,
5-6 range.
Yeah, either way, I would.
What school, though? What school?
Iowa. Big Ten.
There you go. They got him 23rd. I don't know why we didn't see him on that list. He's 4th.
Yeah.
He's 4th ranked, I guess, in the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Wow, they have him 23rd. Wow.
23rd. He's dropped a little bit. Dropped a tiny bit.
He's a guy to me. He's a guy to me that, like, his production.
They got him on the D line as like a 5 technique, Rag. Here, see this?
Okay, yeah.
They're like, I guess these are your outside. Is the 1 technique, I guess, your outside guy? No,
Derek Brown's a D tackle. Kidlaw's a D tackle. Those are all moose knucks.
Yeah, these are all your tackles. Yep. Okay.
So yeah, they just must. You're right. They just have them in a different scenario. On this one, I'm going 3 deep.
3 deep as well. Well, really 2 and 3.
Yeah, you're right. Realistically, 2 and 3 are going to be all the options. But I go 3 deep.
I go 3 deep with a possible 4th.
Just because of the school?
Because of the school and just, I've watched the guy play enough.
See, because to me,
he can play.
To me, I throw a Spence in there between 3, 4, 5.
Agreed.
Just because of, just like your thoughts on Alabama, I watched the Spence at Iowa for 3-4 years. just tear it up. And his production, I think he led the country in sacks, this past year.
When you're playing against Moose Knucks in the Big Ten up front.
Yeah.
We talk about, although I get the SEC guys, up front, that's pro-ready football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And on both sides. So if guys are getting it done in the Big Ten up front, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And a lot of Big Ten guys up here, Chase Young obviously leading the pack. We've seen what he done, but Matos from Penn State, another guy, that we watched. That Penn State defense was really good.
Yep.
In this year, and it's been good for a couple of years. And this guy's a big part of that. Big part of that. And I have no problem with him at 21.
Yeah,
I want to impact guys, man. I think all three of us know that. I mean, me and Joel here, and we could say it a million times. I want guys to come in and day one can be impact cats. I don't care if I got 2 D linemen I took in the first round, clogging each other up a little bit. Good. Put pressure on both motherfuckers. Hey, who wants to win a job? Right? Who wants to win a job? Who wants to play more? Like, competition creates greatness, in my opinion. And when I'm looking at a guy, I usually, a high pick on a Derek Barnett. Well, shit, if I can bring more guys that come in and get to the quarterback, I raise everybody's game.
That's it. And you rotate and you're keeping guys fresh.
Now we go to me and Jules' favorite position on the football field. And that is the safety position now, even though we're in a good spot there. And, Jules brought up a great point pre-show just about how Jim Schwartz loves to run like a 3-safety set a lot. Mm-hmm. So when we were talking about, well, do we draft the safety in the first round? That was a great point out by you. Because, listen, I mean, I think about it. Obviously Xavier McKinney's there at 21. Sign me the fuck up.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done deal.
I don't give a shit if Jefferson's on the board too. I don't care. I'll say it again. I don't care if Justin Jefferson's on the board at 21. If I have my choice over Jefferson, put it this way. McKinney, Queen, I take over Jefferson. McKinney and Queen both on defensive side of football, I take over Jefferson. I probably don't go D-line over Jefferson.
Unless if Kinlaw drops, I'm same thing with like McKinney, right? No, Kinlaw.
Oh, you mean?
No, Kinlaw from South Carolina. Javon Kinlaw, the D tackle.
Oh, D tackle.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, gotcha. I guess there's the Moose Knucks that, in the middle, even though you're built great there, that you can't.
Yeah, Javon Kinlaw there.
If you're going best player available, and he's there at 21.
I was going to say I would run the ticket up, but we can't run the ticket up anymore. I'll try to make sure we don't get hacked typing in so quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg, because you went up front, and I got to look for my guy down the road for Fletcher Cox too when that time comes. And Javon Kinlaw is a guy who could absolutely be that guy.
And to that point, right? We let Timmy go, and I get why you let Timmy go. Malik's older. Hargrave, yeah, I get the signing. I like it, but it's kind of like we've done at the wide receiver position. They're all Band-Aids. If you can get that pup to go next to him and build and solidify it, and then all right, so Hargrave doesn't turn out or that contract becomes enormous after this year, bye-bye.
No, you're right. Ryan said I'll take Logan Wilson or Willie Gay at 103 if we don't take a linebacker in the first. Yeah, I mean, 2 good names, but again, in your project world, you know what I mean, Ryan? So you're just praying.
Yeah.
How he hits it. John Coyle McKinney will never be there.
No, we know that, yeah.
Probably not, but this has him around 19-ish.
Yeah, a lot of the mocks I saw, he would link to the Cowboys.
Anthony, don't start with Derek Brown because that's another one I'll go all the way up.
I hear you, Ant.
What do I need to give you to get up there? All right, let's go to another position. It might upset the Chuckser, but let's go here.
We'll go back to safety. Because I don't know if we really finished that.
No, did we finish it? I'm sorry.
No, we
did not.
Yeah.
We just got excited about Xavier, and then
and then we just moved on.
But in the beginning of the season, the number one guy going in was Delpit.
Yep.
And he got hurt in the middle of the year, and then he got guys would start saying tackling issues. But I think that's more due to his injury as well, trying to play through it.
Agreed.
But at 21, I would seriously think about that at 21 as well.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Jules.
Or maybe trade back a little bit, 25, 26.
You give me the top 3, I'm in. And you're right. With this drop, if you're telling me Delpit is available anywhere near my second-round pick, and I can come away with potentially Delpit at 53, or even if I can go up to 50, I'm all in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who just says that? Gavin, yes, I do. I absolutely do.
At this point, I would take it.
And I like Nigel a ton. I would bring him back. Comfortable, right? We've upgraded in some spots. I would absolutely take him back. Anthony said I would take Reed Jr.
I was just looking at him too. Yeah, if you want to go later in the round, that J.R. Reed from Georgia is a good name. Late, obviously not early. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good name.
I know that the Chuckster here at A2D is a big Jeremy Chin guy. Huge Jeremy Chin advocate.
Big time, but I'm not as much.
I'm not as much either.
I mean, these 3 right here top my board. After that, I'm reaching and I'm praying. You know what I mean? I really am, and I'm hoping I nailed it. But these 3 guys are NFL ready to go. All 3. The middle one. I love McKinney. I watch him play so much, right? But then I see pedigree. I see all pedigree right here.
You know what else you see too? Look at his draft. Look at his eligibility. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's only played 2 years.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah,
he's good.
Ready to go.
Sign me up.
Draft.
Just his last name could have been Harris, and I'm all in. The fact that you're right, he's a Winfield, he's a pedigree guy. Yep, check please.
Sign me up. I want him. You know what I mean?
Guys that can tackle and cover. He could do it all.
Hey, apple don't fall from trees. You know what I'm saying? That's a real goddamn thing. And I would take him at 21, and it ain't a fucking reach. It ain't a reach.
No, because like we talked about just a while ago, Schwartz does run those 3 safety looks out.
Yeah.
I remember a couple years ago when we had Corey Graham out there. He was playing a lot. Corey Graham, along with Jenkins. I think maybe McNabb was hurt. Right, McNabb was hurt, but
Jalen's only on a 1-year deal too. So
Jalen's only on a 1-year deal.
It could be your predecessor, or you move on with Rodney after the, you know what I mean, or you move on with Rodney after the year.
And you brought in the guy from Denver, Will Parks, who he's not a starter in this league. I mean, he has started games, but he's not your guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to trade up. I mean, you got to go up and get him. That's the only way he's there. He's fringe first round, early second. I mean, you don't get past 40. Delpit, no shot.
Nah, no shot.
If you went to Minnesota, yeah, he drops to like 50 or 60. But playing at LSU, that part of it, he absolutely. And listen, I know how teams are in this. Like, I mean, he could go top 25 easy.
And that's the thing. Like, you're right.
I can actually see him going to the Vikings. Actually,
and it's funny.
That'd be a great fit for him.
It's funny, Jules. You said it a couple of weeks ago. He was the second safety off the board. We were looking at him at 21.
Yeah,
just like early on. Like T. Higgins was a landing spot at us at 21, and then Delpit a couple times was a landing spot at 21, and I was good with both of them during those mocks, because at that point Jefferson was still a little bit lower ranked on the wide receiver boards until Chenault fell down a little bit, Higgins fell down, and then Jefferson ran well, and then he jumped up a little bit.
Yeah.
Where would you put Oh, you know what would be funny? When did the Bills pick?
They traded their pick.
Yeah, they're out.
Oh, yeah, they're out.
Minnesota.
They're out. So never mind then. I was thinking.
I think that's like 26.
I was Antoine Winfield right there. Where Daddy played.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that for a minute. Like, oh, where do they pick? I forgot they traded for Diggs. So there you go. Yeah, and Gavin, that's a great thing. Now he'd be great. Would be a great pick in the second round. But a month ago, the guy's a first round pick.
Yeah.
We
would be lucky if he got the 21. Really.
Yeah, I know you're right. Like, that's why I love it. Like when things change after the fact. Like if a guy right after the season is somewhere projected somewhere because of what you watched. let's not let shorts and a t-shirt change that. This is why so many teams miss in the NFL fucking draft.
Oh, you want to know another thing? What was his jersey number this season? Delpit.
Was it 9?
7.
So I knew it was somewhere right there.
You know the history of the 7 jersey at LSU.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There it is.
That's leaders get that, man. Locker room cats get that number.
That's it.
Right? Culture guys get
Talk
that.
about Patrick Peterson, the Honey Badger.
Right? And think about it. Not only did he wear 7 at LSU, Jules, he won a national championship.
He won a national championship.
So you're bringing a guy who's a winner. That's why I'll take Jefferson there in a heartbeat too, because it's a winner. I'm all for guys who win shit, because I think going to the next level after winning too gives you a little more sense of confidence too.
Yeah.
Like when you're walking in as a rookie, like, yo, I know I'm a rookie, but you win one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a little bit. You can come in with a little swagger as a first round guy, and I think Jefferson, Delpit, the list goes on. Chason.
Yeah.
I think I said his last name right. The edge guy. Queen. The list. Just the LSU guy. Like, I mean,
Fulton.
Yeah. You're ready to go. Right. I saw your one. Yeah. So you were talking about trading with the Dolphins, and then you would get 26 and 39, and then he's saying you would take Mims and Delpit. I mean, sign me up.
Okay.
I'm all in, right? Dolphins already made one bad trade with us. Let's see if they're in for another. They're still looking for that quarterback, huh?
What would be the odds if Delpit fell to us in the second round and how he passed?
Pretty good.
Heartbeat. Now you want to pass on a guy who gets hurt.
I would want him out that day.
So staying in a place we love, staying in the secondary for a minute here. Okay, how far you go here at 21? The Fulton?
Yeah, I would take a hard look at Diggs and Fulton at 21. Henderson for sure.
Okay, Greg, you don't go as four on this one?
Not at 21.
Not at 21, okay.
And realistically, to be honest with you, I stop at Henderson at 21. Because if Henderson's there at 21, then that means all my receivers are gone. Anybody, Queen's gone, maybe Murray's gone, and then I got to steal with Henderson. You know what I mean?
I actually like the guy from Clemson better than Fulton.
Terrell?
Yeah.
Yeah, no issues there. I mean, I like Terrell too. Obviously, I love myself some C.J. Henderson. I mean, I can't say it enough. I'm a big fan of Trevon Diggs. I truly am. And I like.
Just look at the family. Look at the family.
Another one. Another one. I take Diggs at 21. I go to bed too. I go to bed too.
His brother's been killing us for the last 3 years.
Thank God we don't play the Bills this year. You know what I mean? But I mean, you're right though. I mean, get a pedigree. I mean, I'm all over taking a guy like Diggs at 21 too. I don't think it's a reach. I think Fulton's a little bit of a reach. I truly do. Yeah. I think Fulton's a reach. I mean, 3 corners went quick. I don't see that really happening. Definitely the top 2 I could see going before 21. But again, a hard look if Diggs is there at 21. I mean, it's right around his landing spot. And you can never have too many corners when you only have one.
That's true. Like we said, you need good young corners in this league. It's a passing league, so you need guys that can get to the quarterback and guys that can stop it.
And we only got one, really.
We only got one.
We only got Sly, which is a great addition. It'd be really nice to throw a guy like Diggs on the other side of him and have Sidney. You know what I mean? And then say, which one wants his job? Who wants a job?
So I just quickly pulled up a couple mocks. They have Diggs going late first. Henderson in those late teens, early 20s. And same thing with Fulton is right around our pick area. The 3 I have pulled up, 2 Mims and a 1 Jefferson.
2 Mims and 1 Jefferson for us, right?
Yes. At 21.
Shit, dude. I just think Mims is too early.
Yeah, I would,
Stop watching the goddamn tape on the guy, man. It's too early. It's too freaking early. How does he go from being like the 10th, the 12th guy when the season's over to being in a freaking top 21 pick? It's mind-boggling. And I think half of it's this fucking city because we're a problem. We're an issue. Like we're gonna try to oversell guys. Mims is not a top 21 player in this draft. And if he's drafted at 21, it's a miss. I'm saying it's a miss right now. Now, I'm not saying the player is because I don't know. But I will yell and scream that night that that's a miss. And that's a reach at 21. Doesn't mean it won't be the right one. Nobody has a crystal ball, but that's a big-time reach at 21. Mims is more the 53rd ranked player in this draft than he is the top 21 player. Fair?
Fair.
Next one, he's going 19th. So I think he's obviously closer to 21 than 53. I mean, he's the fifth or sixth wide receiver listed. So if you have 5 or 6 going, he's obviously closer to 21 than he is 53.
Greg, right here, he's 7th, right? Just one, for instance, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one ranking. Yeah.
Go back a month. Just go back a month and look at mocks, dude. The dude's like the 40th.
This happens every year.
I know, but that's my point, that I feel like it becomes a reach because it happens every year. Like you reach. That's why there's so many misses in the NFL draft, because there's reaches. There's reaches on guys because of needs, or because they fell in love with a goddamn conversation at the combine, or fell in love with something at the combine.
Fell in love with a 40 time.
I'd be in on this. So the latest mock I just looked at from CBS, it was a two-round mock. Had Jefferson at 21 and Kenneth Murray at 53. Okay.
Wow. I mean, I know nobody over there plays defense, but shit, I'll take.
Like they had Gross Matos, the DN from Penn State, getting to the second round.
Like Greg, look at right here, right? This right here alone, right on their big board, he's 40th. He's 40th, and this is after all the love. Like he's the 7th ranked wide receiver, maybe 6th, right? Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so right there, he's 40, right? And I think that's right around his area. So I just think 21's way too high when you look at the amount of talent sitting up here. Like,
that would be a huge reach at a position of need, needless to say, but huge reach.
Like right here, for instance, on the big board, right? This is who we would get. No, we would get Queen. Okay, but like Diggs, right here on the big board, your name, Greg, your guy, right there.
Yeah,
probably available. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this one's got Spence going 23 to the Patriots.
Yeah, right here. Look at this, 23. So that's funny. Right around where he should be.
Yep.
This one got Matos, when you talk about the edge guys, 25. Right around our area. So I mean, I think when you look at our pick, right, you can almost do this. You can go like this. And you can literally go a circle around there and be like, that's your possible everybody saw that right there. That's your possible picks at 21. And I went as far as like Fulton there, right? Just because he's in there. But you could even go to 32 with Winfield because of pedigree. So I mean, that's right around. So what do you need? An offensive guard? This guy right here. Listen to me right now. If this guy's on the board at 21, right?
Well, he's got to be on the board. He's going to be on the board.
What'd you say?
He said he's going to be on the board because I don't think a running back goes in round 1.
That's fine. TT, my brother. What's up, homie?
What up, TT?
I do, Greg. I mean, look, I think 1 goes because 1 always goes, right? I mean, it's just the way that rolls. I mean, somebody's going to go. But if DeAndre Swift's there at 21, bring the kid home to Philly and let Miles and DeAndre go to work.
I'm in. You don't tease me with a good time.
I want weapons, baby. That's a weapon right there. That goes.
What up, Levi?
Because we have a running back.
I do agree, Levi. I do like Michael Pittman a lot. Obviously, 2nd, 3rd round, but yes. Again, you talk about pedigree, right? Family just spitting out wide receivers. He's got a little half brother at Oregon right now. He's a pimp as a freshman.
Five, Bill.
I got 6, Bill.
On their big board, this one's got 5 in the first round. Because listen to me, dude. After Jefferson, it's all your crapshoot city. Your Chenault injury, right? You know what I mean?
Not major, but you're right. Not major, though.
Still a concern. right? You play against nobody at Colorado, so you think about that. Mills, right? Mims, I mean, you like him, but again, it's not a first-round talent. Rieger, not a first-round talent. You know what I'm saying? Hammer, not a first-round talent. When you look at what's available in the first round of this draft, right? Them guys just aren't realistic first-round talents with the amount of stock coming out. I mean, look at this. Look at the big school names on this list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys aren't. These guys are reaches at first round. And guess what? Bill talked about 7 picks, guys. You never know. But if it is, that's a ton of this going on. Ton of that.
It's funny, though. I know Bill brought it up last week. The only time 7 wide receivers went in the first round was 2004, I believe. The only one that is great was Larry Fitzgerald. And then the only one that you could argue was second would have been Lee Evans with Buffalo. Everybody else in that class was
Lee Evans.
Was poo-poo city.
That's why there's one guy in this draft you go up for, wide receiver wise, and that's Jerry Jeudy. Nobody else. Yeah. You can't tell me on anybody else to go up for. I'm saying to give up a lot to go get. That's it. If Jefferson falls to me at 21, and I think he's the best player on the board, I'm taking him. But I said if Queen's there, if McKinney's there, if Henderson's there, I'm taking them 3 over Jefferson. But it's tough. It's tough. But Bill, you got to, man. Like you said, you can't wait to take one until 53. Well, guess what?
I agree with that because if you don't take one first round, then I'm probably trading up mid-second, second to get it. So, yeah, I would agree because at 53, if you wait at 53, you can get a receiver, but he's not going to be as impactful as somebody potentially earlier.
True. Fair. I agree with that, but I'm thinking the same line of thought. Like if I take like a McKinney, for instance, I'm then trading up in the second and trying to go get a Mims, right?
Right.
Trying to go get one, a few of these names on the big board here that are fringe first round, second round guys. You know what I mean? In terms of Chenault, is he still there? Maybe I go up to get him. Mims, is he there? Maybe I go up. Rieger, I like Rieger a lot, even though he's a slot guy. I have no problem with Rieger or Hammer in the second round.
Yeah,
either.
No, I wouldn't either. You grab any one of those guys on defense that we mentioned. You have a top 5 defense.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
A top 5 defense.
Bill, you got to add a hook. It's either got to be 5.5 or 6.5. Add the hook.
Yeah, add the hook, Bill. I'm going under. You know that. No, Ralph, I didn't see. You guys see? He said you see Jordan Love going before Herbert. No, Herbert's just better. I mean, I'm not a big Herbert guy.
And you want to talk about people falling in love with a body, right? And I get it. You get it a little bit at the quarterback position. But yeah, you want to talk about people falling in love with a body. They're gonna, it's a shame that the in-person workouts were all canceled because you'd probably be talking about him shooting way up boards if people got to see him in person a lot more.
Who, Herbert?
Herbert.
Yeah. 6'6", 236. I mean, moose knuck.
Yeah, someone's gonna fall in love with that. Think he's the quarterback of the future, and again, playing at Oregon. Who knows what he's going to truly be, but they're going to fall in love with that body.
He's athletic too, and he can move.
Yep.
Yeah, now he can. I mean, he does everything.
I mean, that's the way the NFL is going right now at that position.
Yeah, I like Herbert more than other guys. I don't blame. I don't blame a lot of things there. He's done some boneheaded throws I've seen, but also college quarterback, but definitely the body and the size to be a top 10 guy easily. You know what I mean? If not even higher.
John, what's your target then? At 21, who you taking, and then where are you coming back into the first, and who you taking? Because I do see that being a potential option, but it's just a matter of what are you looking for?
Well, how great would this be, right? So let's say you went Queen at 21, just because this is right where he's at, right?
Yep.
And you came back in and you went and got his buddy. You know what I mean? If he's still on the board, you come back in, you get his buddy, you double dip at LSU, and you handle 2 positions in one. And you come back in the first round, you call yourself a day for a little bit.
Oh, here you go. John says Queen at 21. He's with you there. And then he says Chenault late. Like 28, 29, to where you probably don't have to give up too much. Because, Tom, I think your scenario, you got to go 21, 23. You know what I mean? You almost got to go back to back there. Because I think if you're waiting at 25, Jefferson doesn't make it in that scenario.
Fair. Fair. No, fair.
I'd be in for that scenario, John.
I'm just trying to think.
I definitely would be too. That'd be a slam dunk.
What do you say? Another one?
No, just Chenault
You
late.
said Chenault will be ready. You said Chenault will be ready. That won't be an issue.
46-week injury.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd have no problem with that. I mean, I'd rather have Jefferson, but I agree with you. You know what I mean?
But does the injury linger around a little bit?
No one else it does.
Yeah, right. With our medical staff.
That's what I'm saying.
Gavin, I agree. You got to get to the 10 if you want Judy. I really want Jacksonville on the horn, man. Is Jacksonville ready to make this deal? A2D put out a post yesterday, and no, I would not make that. Yes, maybe I would. Maybe I would give all that up for Judy if I know I was getting Judy.
No, I saw that. That's a lot.
It's a lot, but throw Yannick in there and let's call it a day.
Okay.
Let's call it a day. Give me Yannick, give me 9, and I'll give you up everything you want. Take it all.
I'll buy into that.
You know, because now I'm getting a monster at the end, and I'm going to get my wide receiver. This is what I want everybody to stop for 1 second. Like, I know we don't want to give up picks. Did it hurt Atlanta going up and getting Julio? Did it crush their franchise? No. It didn't. Them picks are long gone.
Still should have won a Super Bowl.
They went to a Super Bowl, and them picks
should have won.
So, you know, to me, if the guy's there and you think he's that good, you do what you do to go get him. You know what I mean? That's just me.
That's it.
What was Bill saying? 5.5. That's when I argue with Tom about 7. I said 7. If I bet, it'd be 6, and I'll lose. Oh, you said 7.
Yeah, so you got to set that. You can't say 6 though as an over under. Levi, they're good. Tom and I are almost already through a 12-pack.
Yeah, I didn't open this one yet. I just didn't need it. You know, I was
Nice.
gonna get to it.
You got too many
So maybe
drinks
we're not that far through a 12-pack.
That could get cracked still. I mean, it's still early. Or if you have to settle, just drop back forward Minnesota, get our Slay picks back, and then take the best receiver. Fair, but I don't want to reach in here, though. That's the thing. Like I don't want to reach. I just think Chenault's a reach in the first round anyway. I mean, was he first round guy before the injury, though?
Yeah. He was the number 4 guy. He was the number 4 guy.
Then I don't think anybody, what would change?
Just the fact that medical staffs can't truly approve and evaluate him to truly understand his injury, right?
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, boys. Well, that's a little bit of our big board essentially on what we're trying to do. If you go on here, you can also get pretty cool. You can get your team needs. So you got to go to the NFC East. Go Eagles. Starter need high. Pick 1. Pick 2. Wide receiver, edge, cornerback. And then they go safety, and then the mid rounds. They have the inside, the inside and outside linebacker position. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this, go off of this a little bit, right? And then late round, just fillers.
Yeah.
I'm right with you, but I would just add a linebacker in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's say mid round for a linebacker.
Yeah, it's where it has it. Mid round. More pick 3 to have safety. So, right around there. Them 4 are the top 4 positions you're going to target early on.
If you take a mid round linebacker, how is you going to really have to hit it on the head?
I think he's got to hit every pick, or at least the top 3 picks anyway.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, Jules. You're going to take a position like that. You better hit it.
You better hit it because or else we're probably going to bring Bradham back. We're going to be pulling guys off the street to play linebacker.
Sorry, I was looking at this.
Levi, I like Pittman. I don't know if he's a second. I don't know if he's a 53 guy. But I do like Pittman. I just don't know how I would feel. I'd have to see how the board fell to where Pittman would be there at 53 that I would be excited about.
USC, right?
Yeah.
No receivers USC.
Oh, I'm good. Been
We're
down
good.
Been down that road.
But in the second or third round, I might be in. Like I said, depending on how it falls.
TTP, I agree. I mean, I feel like this fan base stopped talking about T. Higgins as much as they were a few weeks back. You're spot on. What changed? I'm just curious. I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know. I mean, to me, that was the guy everybody wanted at 21, and then it just stopped.
Well, yeah, everybody hopped on the Justin Jefferson bandwagon too.
Well, and a lot of us, like myself, were judied up.
Right. So,
give up the world.
You know what I mean? So,
trying to understand this trade value chart, right? Is what I'm trying to look at.
Okay.
So it's saying enter team, use 2 or 3-letter team ID.
All right. So if you're going to trade the first round, so enter first round. What are you trying to get to?
9.
So enter. So either Philly or no, you want to go Cleveland, right? Cleveland's 9.
No, Jacksonville's 9.
So go Jax. Put JAX, right? Is that what they have?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I had that other team in, right?
Yeah, it's tough for me to see it on here.
Yeah, I'm lost.
My bad. Yeah, I don't get it. No teams you value charts playing in draft trades. Enter your team in the box below and all picks. Your team will be highlighted. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but it doesn't give you any freaking. Doesn't give you any of that. I guess it's the value, right? So it's a point value. So I guess
it's a point value. Yes.
So 1350. So you would have to like match that, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So at 800, the first round, Eagles' first round pick is 800. Yeah. So if you want to get to Jacksonville, you got to accumulate 1350. However you do that, right?
Okay.
So your Eagles would be 800, and then 370. Say if you went first, second, that would only be 1170. You'd have to throw in. Where's their third?
They don't have one.
There's no third.
Oh no, they do. Yeah. 88. They have their own. So you probably have to go first, second, third at least. Right?
No,
yeah. 103 down here. Oh, do you see that?
All the way down.
Yep.
So you'd have, and even that's only getting you to 1200.
Yeah, so you'd have to add in picks next year because you're not going to go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be like a first this year, maybe your first and second this year, and then a third next year, and then another second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that gets you up there. I mean, point value it does.
But to like if you look at John's example, right? If you want to get to say 29, right? You had to get to 640. You'd stay with your 21, and then you'd get send your second and your third, and it's second or third next year.
Yeah.
To get back up to say Tennessee there at 29.
At 29, yep, 640 to get in there. Value.
Yeah.
So it's a cool little chart, though, to just understand the values. If you want to do, value to get somewhere and what you need to sort of add up to get there. You know what I mean? Like a little easier at 10, but you're not shaving much. You're shaving 50 points. You know what I mean? Which is why, like, if you look at, when people are like, oh, what is it going to cost us to trade down, say to 28? Baltimore would give us their first and then probably a third. And that's all we would get. Right, so you wouldn't be getting that second round. You'd be getting probably 92 and 6 and 28. Yep. Here you go, Greg.
To get your value.
Herbert 5 to Miami on this board.
Where they did 2 ago and 3 then to Detroit, or
Chargers.
2 ago and the Chargers traded up. Yeah,
So
I was going to say if
Young, Tua, Simmons. Herbert.
You want to talk about a pimp.
Simmons,
and then Okuda, please.
Oh, yeah. I'll scroll through. Let's go pick for them.
I saw one mock had him down at like 17, Derek Brown.
Hold on. So
Ruggs first guy off the board here.
Yeah.
If we're talking about,
but San Fran's going up for need though. You know what I mean? Like San Fran's going up for a specific fit for that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We can't get here for this. You know what I mean?
So if we're talking about moving up to draft Judy in what, like, you know, is that like 9, 10-ish, maybe 11?
Yeah.
So
right.
say what if by chance Okuda slips down towards the bottom, like 8, 9?
Then there's 8 or 9 teams that are a bunch of idiots.
If we're talking about trading up that high to get a receiver,
why not do that? You know what I mean?
Why not
Play
do that?
Okuda and call it a day.
And here you go. On this one's got on their mock drafts got Jefferson going 21 to us. You know what I mean? And if you see now, look at the reach value, right? Look at the reach value. They sort of give you a reach value here. Okay. If you look at the reach value for Jefferson, it's a -3 on the reach value. Okay. If you look at the reach value a pick later on Denzel Mims, right? -18 reach value.
Yeah,
so that's saying.
Look who's picking it though. They have multiple first-round picks. They have to replace Diggs.
You're missing my point, though.
I'm not missing any point. I get what you're talking about.
It's a reach at 22.
You're absolutely right.
It's like look at all the receivers going off the board. Now Chenault to the Jets.
Because that's the way the draft works.
But I'm just saying, reach. You know, Rieger first. You know,
well, the Jets. That's not the Jets pick. This one's got the Jets coming back up to get Chenault.
I understand this, Greg. I'm just telling you the reach value. It's giving you a reach value on it. Like Green Bay taking Xavier McKinney at 26 to +7 on the reach value. Which means it's a great pick. You know
That's not a reach.
Not a reach. That's what's giving you the pluses, right? Because all the receivers fell off the board. Now, a guy like Trevon Diggs falls to fucking Dallas, a +6, and they nail it. You know what I mean?
And Matos goes to Dallas too.
Yeah, Matos goes to Dallas. I'll punch somebody in the goddamn head.
Oh my God! I saw one mock. It had Kinlaw going to Dallas, and I'm like, God, no, please no, please no.
And then Kristen Fulton rounds it out on a +2 reach value. So this has some.
Yeah, because if you look at Minnesota, just for example, like you said, you're right. Mims would be a reach, but he'd be replacing Diggs, and then Fulton back there at the end of the first round would be replacing Xavier Rhodes.
They got Queen. Look at that. The Detroit at 37 +16 on the reach value.
Jesus.
Right? I mean, a really drop. I wouldn't want to see that one.
No. And does that have him taking Simmons too, or no? No, they took a lineman in the first round, the Giants, right? They had him.
No, the Giants took Young. No. They take
I thought they took
they have the 2 pick, right?
4. I thought that they traded
with
a lineman.
They traded because they traded with Jacksonville or San Diego or LA or whatever the freak they're called.
Look at that. Look at Winfield. 45, Tampa.
That wasn't a reach, right? What that was? That was a plus what?
I think 18.
+13.
Yeah.
Look at this. No, never mind. I thought that was a +35. I was like, what? Getting the 53 here for the family.
Is that Jonathan Taylor at 48?
Yeah. To the Steelers.
That's pretty ridiculous.
No, where was Taylor? Yeah, 49.
49.
+8 on the reach value. And then you come to the Eagles.
2 back-to-back wide receivers.
Back-to-back wide receivers.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
But then again, that goes back to what we're talking about. Are we giving up on our Sega Whiteside? If you go back-to-back receivers?
Back-to-back says yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back-to-back absolutely says yes. Well, this is a great site, by the way.
Joker, where's that coming from? Just out of curiosity. I like Mims probably more than better. I agree though. 21, I think he's a reach. Where's the superstar potential?
Offensive coach.
Hennessy, yeah, center.
I know.
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, -13, -38. Not a fan of that. That would make sense. So interesting.
Yeah,
interesting on this one.
Yeah, that's a nice little site.
Nice little site. Gave us some great breakdowns, and it's nice we can give the family some visual too. Which is fun.
Yeah.
give you some fish. They even give you some scouting reports. Get the links, all the scouting reports. Yeah, I don't know what the Giants are. Let me look back at that real quick.
I think it took the lineman from Iowa.
Whiffs.
You know, because they traded with.
No, they
Wilfs.
traded because they have six.
Yeah,
Wilfs. It's actually a really good pick for them.
Yeah, he's stud.
That's them combining more picks. You know what I mean? We don't
Yeah.
want that. And that allows them to get freaking Delpit in the second round.
Yeah.
We don't want any parts of that.
No thanks.
We don't need them upgrading their offensive line and
Yeah, so their secondary now has Landon Collins and Grant Delpit. No thanks.
No, Collins is gone.
Is he going?
Yeah, last year he went to the Redskins.
Oh, that's right. He went to Redskins. I knew he was in division. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So boys, ton of fun. Broke down a lot. TTP says loving the visuals. Yeah, just trying to give some love to the Vish, make it easier.
No way on the birds.
What'd you say, Greg?
No, I'm trying to read Bill's comment here.
Here, where you want to go? Fourth and fifth. Let's see what they got taking.
No. I want to ask you three something that the boys earlier said. No way on birds of a feather. Would you swap our first? Give our third. Oh yeah, that's a lot to give up, Bill. We did actually just touch on it.
Swap our first.
It was the poll, the post that we posted out earlier, and I know the fix went into it. All those picks for Judy at 9. Throwing Yannick, I'm in. Yeah, I know that's not happening, but
or what if they throw in the receiver? Who is it? What's his
Chark?
name? Yeah.
So you're telling me I give up all that for Chark and Judy? Okay.
Hey, I'll go there.
I'll play that game.
You can give me Chark or you can give me Yannick, and I'll give you all that shit for Judy and Yannick or Judy and Chark. I can't miss. I think I'd rather have Yannick than Chark, just because I know he can be dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Chark's a little bit younger, but I mean, I'm all in for it. Now here you go. You know, this one's guys taking our linebacker, Michael. I think it's Michael Walker. Inside linebacker, Fresno State. But if you looked back on this, right, boys? If you look back and we were talking about reaches and we were talking about plus minus on picks, right? Here, because of some deals and stuff, or no, they got 145, 146. Julian Black, safety, Utah, a minus 14 reach value, and then Eno Benjamin, which would probably be a damn miss for the Eagles, a minus 44 reach value. So a big time reach at 146. I don't know how you reach at 146, but in this
it's a free pick essentially.
Yeah, they found a way to reach at 146 though. So
talk about coming in with a low expectation.
Right. And listen, so what this did was it sort of gave us a breakdown on all our picks, and then this had some trades going on in it, but has us.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
Taking Justin Jefferson at 21.
Yeah.
So I think everybody here as a fan base would be okay with that. You know what I mean? What's Bill say? Compared to Julio, they gave 5 picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, John. Later, brother.
And to that point, we did figure out on that trade value chart, right, that we would have to get in the next year and get there, right?
Yeah.
Just on points alone.
On point value alone, to be able to give a 5, you know what I mean? You're going to have to top next year. John Coyle, we already talked about that. Good show. Thanks for the breakdown of the draft. Absolutely, John. Stay tuned for our draft, our mock draft live. So we'll give it ATD live draft. That'll be a fun one next Saturday. TTP.
Yeah, TTP, let's go.
Green with Greg, Doc and Moses.
I knew me and TTP were on the same wavelength.
Bill, for Judy, I'll give my third in a minute and a future first and a third. Big deal. Ted FedEx, how much show is left? Well, we've gone 2 hours and going on 28 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes. So about to end, brother, but our shit doesn't go away, Ted. So you can go back and watch it as soon as it's over. I know you're over on Twitter, on Periscope. You can go back and watch it as soon as it's over. It stays there. So go back and enjoy it, brother. Go back and enjoy it. Just because this show's about to be over. We did a whole 2 hours and 30 minutes. Go soak in when it's over. And if you don't want to listen to it on Twitter and you're on the podcast, Well, that'll be uploaded tomorrow, but you can catch it there as well. And Joker says Justin Jefferson is the safe choice right there, and he absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted, have a great one, brother. Bill says in multiple force. So a lot of
Joker, Mims is going to be interesting because I do kind of see what you're saying. I don't know if I take him though, just because we've missed so much on those potential projects or potential guys. But it'll definitely be interesting to see how much of that is true though. Whether he can turn into a superstar or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a superstar.
I'll take him.
I'll take a superstar. All right, boys. It's been real.
Yes, good stuff.
Good draft talk.
Great stuff.
You too, Bill. Be safe, buddy.
Be safe, fam.
Later, Bill.
Tom Marone, Nick Giuliano, Greg Moakovic, the family out there joining us. A ton of fun tonight. Talked about our best duos / tandems in Philly sports and got into a lot of other stuff. Our venues we went to was just fun, and this Eagles draft room was a ton of fun. I didn't expect the show to go this long, but start talking birds and drafts, and it just goes and goes and goes. We didn't even get to our fan choice because I think we talked about everything you guys wanted us to talk about. Every Wednesday, we're brought to you by our doc. Make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations, and doing remote services right now. So Tele services or tell us something. I don't know. I might have messed that up, but remote services. That's all you need to know. Tomorrow night, I believe you got Lazy Booking.
Yeah, they should be doing a WrestleMania recap. Yeah, they'll be on.
Lazy Booking, and then you get the Hockey Happy Hour boys, and then, Friday, I know I'll be on. Anybody else on with us Friday?
Nah, I'll be back on Saturday.
We'll be back on Saturday, so I'll see you Saturday, Jules.
Greg, might see Danny. Might see Danny if he's not FaceTiming another lady friend.
See what Danny's doing on Tinder, and if he can make it in. But, fam, thanks for joining us. Be safe out there. And put your alerts on. Like, subscribe, follow. Bringing you shows daily, sometimes 2 a day. Fam, we out. Jules.
We out.
Greg.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Been real. Peace, fam.